to catch up on since yesterday's live. Come on in, like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Alexa said it's not going to rain, so hopefully I won't be having to sprint back to the house and cut my walk short. Come on in. Yeah, Lord Jesus. We have new we have new updates concerning the Karmelo Anthony case. Video footage has been released. I know y'all got opinions. Everyone has opinions. I don't know anyone today who's not familiar with this case and who does not have an opinion. We all have opinions, and we are here to talk about them. Come on in. Let me know in the chat as you come on in, like the video. Have you seen the Karmelo Anthony footage? And I want to know if it has changed your mind in any way, as far as your feelings concerning the verdict, because it has a lot of people talking. It has a lot of people talking, and a lot of people have questions, including myself. So we're here to talk about it. Come on in. He says very confusing. Yes, it's very. And what's the confusing part for you? Because here's the thing: the case was centered on like this one-on-one physical encounter that turned deadly, that ended with the loss of one of the people involved in the incident. So it's like, okay, I get that. That sounds very cut and dry. One-on-one, one person pushed the other one responded by stabbing them. Got it. But when you see the footage, you all, it's given a different story. Don't it give like a different story than what was painted in the courtroom? It just looked like it was a lot popping off underneath that tent, more than what was talked about during the trial. Because to me, I felt like the trial made it seem like it was very just cut and dry. We would expect to see, hello, we would expect to see, you know, some kids just sitting underneath the tent, um, one person getting in the face of another. And like, don't that sound like kind of very, like, not really a lot of excitement? Like, it's just like something that probably happened kind of fast, but not a lot of movement. To me, when I look at this video, it's like it's a lot going on underneath that tent. To me, more than what people were testifying saying took place. There were more people clearly involved in the incident, because there's been quite a few content creators covering it, and when they show the video, when you zoom in, you can see that there was commotion taking place with multiple people. And I don't know if any of you have heard, like, some of the people who had already come out and was saying they had watched the full video. I feel like they've been vindicated, because a lot of people were calling them liars when they were talking about seeing a full video. When I say full, the video kind of like minutes like before the incident took place and after the incident took place, more than the 2 minutes that was being shown in the courthouse. So they've been vindicated. So clearly they've seen the video. So as I'm watching the video, I'm taking into an account what these people who had already seen the video. It was maybe about 4 people I listened to tell their story about what they seen in the video. Um, and so I'm bumping up with what they said they seen in the video to what I'm seeing in this video. And I'm like, some things seem like it's still missing. Some things seem like it's still missing. So I feel like what's happened. So Judge Roach claims he released the video because he wanted to show transparency. So he said he's trying to, like, hey, I want to show transparency. Everybody, this case is just very kind of, people are kind of have strong feelings about the outcome. So I want to go ahead and release the footage because I don't have anything to hide or whatever. So what I feel like happened, I feel like they released the footage of these 11 minutes that these people who had said that they watched a video that was 11 minutes long. Most of the minutes, I think they said nine minutes was leading up to the incident. But you all, this video that got released, most of the minutes are on the back end. Like really, when you're watching it, it's most of the minutes are on the back end following the incident, not the front end. So the people that I heard tell their story about watching a video, and it was about 11 minutes, they talked about the lead up prior to the incident. For example, what stood out to me when they talked about the lead up was they said Karmelo Anthony was just sitting minding his business for at least like 9 minutes before the boys approached him. And you can see them running up to the tent to approach him. That is not what you get out of the video that got released. That's not this. That's not what I seen. That's not what's out there. You see a video of, where the boys are walking through the gates, the fit, as they were entering, I guess, at the school at where the track meet was. You seen that video of Austin, Hunter, and a couple of other boys. You see that. And then you see a video where Karmelo Anthony is walking into like the area where the bleachers are. They circle, they show him walking. And then next thing you know, you're going to see everybody's just suddenly underneath the tent. So you didn't see, it wasn't shown where Karmelo was just kind of ever like by himself for a good bit, like the people who saw the video said they saw. You don't see that. And then also what I didn't see in the video is the boys walking up to Karmelo Anthony. As these people who said in the video they watched, they could see the boys approaching Karmelo Anthony and getting into his personal space. So I feel like they edited it. It's a heavy edited video, and they just piece some things together to make it seem like it's telling a whole story when it's not. The part that's missing is really the lead up before the altercation, where Karmelo was by himself minding his business, and then some boys approached him. You're not seeing that. So B. Wronger said, that's my brother's friend, Hunter. You said Hunter is your brother's friend. So what you're not seeing, to me, you're not seeing those boys approach Karmelo as the people who watched the video a year ago said that they saw in the footage. Found that to be very interesting. I did see separate footage of the police cam. So you show also in the footage where, they kind of approach Karmelo in in the footage from the track meet, from I guess the school's camera and the police footage. You don't see Karmelo Anthony ever being difficult, being uncooperative. You never see that in either one of the videos. It never gave that he was trying to get away. Not at one point, because I've heard people try to put that narrative out as, oh, he was trying to run. The running that I seen was him trying to get away from what had just went down, which looked like he was being jumped or attacked by multiple people. So the question is, why was it mentioned in the testimony that Karmelo Anthony was physically assaulted by more than one person? According to the people who saw the video last year, they said it was 4 people. Why in the testimony, why there was never any testimony from either side of there being more people involved in the incident? I can't help but to wonder what this family, first of all, I just can't help but to wonder what this family was told at the start of this trial as far as what type of approach the attorneys was going to take and the why, the angle. Because before I seen this video, I had been wondering, like, damn, did the family see this 11-minute video that people are saying they saw? Because if they seen this video, ain't no way that they should have given the defense attorney the green light to argue the case the way that they did. If this video is existing, like, why wouldn't that be shown? This video that people are saying they seen, why wouldn't that be shown during the trial? Like, wouldn't you push for everything to be shown, especially if it's showing that you or the person you're behind, your loved one, the person you're supporting, if it shows that they were in the right with the actions that they took based off of the situation? Because that's why I say we got to pay attention to context. Like, okay, yes, someone was stabbed, but we can't ignore, okay, the story. Well, why were they stabbed? Like, that's with anything, you all. We can't just pay attention to how the story ended. We got to pay attention to, well, shit, how did it start? Okay, now what happened in the middle? Like, we need all the pieces. That's where the critical thinking come in. And I know everybody don't have the ability to do that, to use critical thinking. But if you don't have the ability to do it on your own, sit the hell down and listen as someone do it for you, so you don't be looking and sounding dumb. Because in any situation, I guarantee you, if you're caught up in something and it ends badly and you looking crazy, you're going to be like, oh, no, no, no. I got to tell you what happened. Listen to me. Let me tell you what happened so you can understand why this is the situation. Anybody with even a pea-sized brain, this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to advocate for yourself, for your loved one, right? This is regardless of what color, race, whatever. This is just common sense, what you want to do. So that's why context matters. Context matters. So given that the full story clearly wasn't shown or told, even with this case, y'all, to me, it's almost like a whole different, completely different defense for the defense team if he were to go back to court and have a retrial. Because based off of the video and it looking like it was multiple people involved, Karmelo, we gonna need for you to step to the front of the congregation to tell your story, son. We need for you to step to the front of the congregation, because what we're seeing in this video footage is not making sense with the narrative and the story that has been put out there. So we got some questions and we need for you to explain what took place. I hope that because I don't think it's when he's granted a new trial, I hope that he testifies for himself. And I hope that he's honest about what truly happened under that tent. And he expressed, because clearly there was multiple people involved. There was multiple people involved in this fight, in this altercation. It was not just Austin Metcalf. There were multiple people. And the people who have watched the video, those people are out there talking, you all. It's not hard to find. If you don't want to find it, if you don't want to listen to what they got to say, just say that. That's what it's about. You just don't care. You don't care to want to know the truth. But the truth is out there. What's his name? No Cap Breezy. He is the content creator, basically, who has interviewed, I think, everybody who said they've seen the video. If not everybody, but at least 4 people. The people who are on the internet saying, hey, I seen the video, he's done interviews with them on his platform. I'm sure there's other people in the world back then who went and saw the video. They just may not be on the internet. Because remember, I talked about it yesterday. Anyone who saw the video was placed on a gag order, which means they were prohibited to speak on it. That's why we are just now hearing about this video and people saying, oh, hell no, this is what I seen, because they were under a gag order just like everyone else who was a part of the case. They were under a gag order, so they couldn't speak on it. The gag order has been released, so everybody and their mama telling their side, even including Judge Roach Jr. Jr. even telling his side. I did a live, I was in front of my laptop, so I showed the interview that he did with someone, Judge Roach, where he was talking. So he getting his little time in front of the camera. We know Metcalf, we know Daddy Metcalf, we know he's getting his time in front of the camera. Uh, I think Hunter, we have not heard. I haven't seen or heard from Hunter since the trial. I haven't seen or heard from Hunter since the trial or his mother, but we have heard from the father. We've heard from the father. Uh, Very interesting. And then the timing, you all. Nothing happens by chance. It was released yesterday on the federal holiday, Juneteenth. Juneteenth, which is a holiday that is centered around the black community and the ending, abolishment of slavery, all of that jazz. So, why do you all think that the video was released on that day? Was this like, okay, black people, don't say I ain't never done nothing for you. Here you go. That's what it's giving, y'all. This is the type of stuff they do. Here you go. Don't say I ain't done nothing for you. You been bitching, moaning, crying, wanting to see whatever. Well, here you go. The verdict, everything still stands, but here you go. And this is that stuff I'm talking about. This is that stuff I'm talking about. Nothing is by chance. There's a reason for everything. Everything is calculated. It was calculated for the video to come out when it did. It was calculated. So, also mentioned yesterday, Judge Lane going into retirement. I guess it was new news for people. I saw it out there. Thought probably more people knew about it. So a lot of people, in the chat was like in shock or saying I was lying. But maybe I was on the live for a little while, almost 2 hours. So maybe by the end, people came to learn again that I wasn't lying. But Judge Roach, what I call him, Lang. We gonna get to Lang. Judge Roach. Judge Roach. Judge Roach is retiring. I was thinking about Jake, because Jake's still locked up from my Google search. But Judge Roach, he is retiring. He's cutting his career. He's ending his career as a judge at the end of the year. So by December 31st, 2026, he will no longer be presiding over cases. He said he's retiring after nearly 20 years of being on the bench. Oh, and he says, yeah, before I get up out of here, I got good cases, one or two murder cases to preside over. So I'm not done putting that work in. So I don't know if y'all view that as a good thing or a bad thing that he talking about. He trying to put his hands on something. But he said he's gonna do at least 1 to 2 more cases. So he got 6 more months to touch 1 to 2 more cases. Because in the interview that I showed on my channel, you guys can check it out from previous content. He said he was so proud of how he handled the case, the Karmelo Anthony versus Texas case. He said he feel like all cases should be conducted that way. Listen, this is what that man said. He said all cases, this is how proud he was popping. Listen, he was popping his collar. He's like, I don't need nobody to pop to my, listen, all cases should be handled this way. We did a damn good job with the way we handled this case. Y'all, he said that with a straight face. He said, I sleep well. He said, I sleep well every night. So that interview is out there. Again, it should be, if you want to watch it on my channel, me react to it. It's going to have Judge Roach's name in the title, but you can also just find it out there. Judge Roach interview following the Karmelo Anthony verdict, and you'll hear for yourself. And he talked about whether or not he had a relationship with the Metcalf family. He said that he denied it. He claimed that prior to that case, he'd never known of that family before. He just talked about how he just not a fan of social media, and he just wants to stay far away from it. What I gathered from it is that, see, social media is a place to air people out on a bullish. I think he doesn't like social media is because in today's time, unlike, say, maybe 20, 30 years ago, in today's time, just as quick as you do some bullish, you get caught up, like it comes out so quickly. Things no longer take like many years to come out after you done some ish. So you know a lot of people who be on some demon time, like they done some things like back before pre-internet. They may have would have done it 20, 30 years ago. And then later people are just kind of talking about it, trying to having physical interviews with people in the community who may have been aware or heard some things. Y'all know it's like, y'all seen them like them little, I don't know, they be like documentaries or some of the cases on the stories maybe on Netflix or something where it's dealing with solving a case. And then it's heavy with people going back, having conversations with people who were around during that time, or maybe someone, a grandchild of someone who was around saying, well, yeah, my grandpa had told me this, or my grandma told me. Y'all, those days are over with. In the era of a damn TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, like things are coming out in real time. Things are coming out in real time. So before the trial even ended, the verdict even came, pictures was already circulating of Judge Roach and the Metcalf, Mr. Metcalf at a holiday party. Pictures was already out there. Y'all see how fast that is? That's because of the internet and social media in particular. That's why I know he don't like social media, because it interferes with a narrative that they will try to put out when they want to try to spin something. See, we live in a time where it's a more of a challenge to try to spin some shit, because everybody a journalist. Y'all seen at the trial, everybody, it probably was so many content, new channels created on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Everybody was a journalist, internet lawyer. Like everybody was just out there with their phone. That's how Jake Lane got caught up. That's how he got caught up. Out there on some demon time playing stupid games, won a stupid prize. Now he mad about the stupid prize he won, but he out there talking crazy, making threats on social media. Witnesses are present to hear him talk crazy. What is your defense, sir, when you done damn got yourself just like Chud the Builder? This, remember I said, the internet is what you make of it. A lot of people don't like the internet. But my thing is anything could be good or bad. It's how you use it. And for these two individuals, they were using it in a bad way. But the positive that came out of it is that because they were the way that they were using it, remember I told you it can be used in a positive way too. The positive is that they shenanigans was caught on camera on their own platforms. So how do you go before a judge and argue that you're innocent, that somebody's lying on you when they're using your own footage against you? That is what we're seeing. So these people are getting themselves caught up. There are so many people, these detectives, I was hearing this years ago, how detectives, police officers, when it comes to a lot of stuff, especially with young people, these people are telling on themselves because they post everything on the internet. So the police, they got a whole, I'm hearing about, they got whole units, y'all, that's dedicated to just focusing on the social media aspect and looking at the social media accounts and things like that. I've seen all that, how that play out with the Young Thug case. I live here in Georgia, and Young Thug, I was following that case. Because a lot of these people, they'll just put everything on the internet, and then when the day come, they caught up in some ish. The very things that they was putting on the internet that they trying to be cool, they done damn dry snitched on their own self. So it ain't even somebody else snitching on them. They done snitched on their own self. Chud the Builder, Jake Lane. They cases ain't centered on somebody else's testimony of saying what they did. The case is centered on the evidence that's coming from their accounts. They getting their own selves caught up. So that when the judge starts talking about he don't like social media, I'm thinking, I bet the hell you don't. That's why he's trying to get the hell up out of that courtroom expeditiously before the end of the year, because he already knows that people already know that there was some suspect behavior taking place in that courtroom. Hence why he did not want to have those cameras present in there. What do you have to hide, sir? It was more reasons to have the cameras present in there because of high profile the case was, to make sure that everybody seen that it was being handled fairly. To me, that it would make more sense to go ahead and have the cameras on versus excuse me, having the cameras off. So you're gonna have the cameras off when you trying to trying to do some trickery. When you're trying to do some trickery. But here's the thing. When they say the Lord knows all, he sees all, he hears all, is that even though we weren't in that courtroom, the truth is still coming out. Every day, you all, more and more is coming out centered around this case. And it's very disturbing. And the more that comes out in this case, the more we question, why is this young man locked up? And or, well, why was he found guilty of that charge and not that charge? You see what I'm saying? Because based off of the footage that the people who watched the video a year ago seen, he was 100% self-defense. He was 100% self-defense, and also there was no laws broken by him having the blade, the pocket knife, whatever you want to call it. It was 3.5 inches. It was under 5 inches. He did not break a law. The school may not have wanted him or to have something like that at an event, but there was no law broken by him having it. So there's that. So he had it, okay. But then as the people who watched the video a year ago, they're like, well, she from, and this, them saying what they saw, they're like, yo, like, he had no other choice but to pull out all the stops with the way these big boys were just putting them in, just drilling on them. Because they said it was like 4 of them. They said it was 4 big kids, and they hovered over him while he was sitting down. Can y'all see all of that inside of the video? Because some people have like zoomed in and to see more detail. But what's coming out to be fact based off of the people who watched the video a year ago, they're saying it was 4 boys who fought Karmelo Anthony. And he tried to get away. They said there was a time during the video where he tried to pull away, and they pulled him back in by his hoodie. They pulled him back in. And then he went ahead and managed to get away and actually get away. And that's when you see that he's standing and he takes a dash down the bleachers. You all, this is what black people who watch the video are saying, as well as white people. Same opinion, same footage. And as I was watching this footage that was released last night, I was bumping it up against what I was hearing these people were saying. Was this video lining up? Was it lining up? The part that to me wasn't lining, so let me tell you what lined up with what they said. What lined up with what they said was the length of the video. When they said there was 11-minute video, they all said when they went to go see the video, they was asked, do you want to see the 2-minute? You want to see from the 2-minute time, or do you want to see the 11-minute video? All of them said, which I would have said it too. They all said, they told the people, I want to see the 11-minute video. Who don't want to see as much as they can because you're trying to make sense of it. Remember, people, context matters. They all said, I want to see the 11-minute video. The difference between the video they seen, that they said they saw, and the video that's circulating now is that the bulk of the minutes from the video is on the back end post the incident. Whereas these people who talked about what they seen, the bulk of the video was on the front end. So I ask you people, are you interested in seeing what happened more on the front end? Because in the video I saw, you can see Karmelo Anthony walking into the stadium, like to get into the bleachers in that area. But I didn't see where they had the camera show where the boys walked in. You see what I'm saying? Like, so why is it that we're seeing when Karmelo entered, but we're not seeing when the other parties involved entered? Since it's centered around Austin, why aren't we seeing when Austin entered? Isn't that quite interesting? Because if you got the footage to show when Karmelo entered, why wouldn't you have the footage to show when Austin entered? I'm just listening, y'all. What's up, Ariane? I'm just asking these questions, y'all. I'm just asking these questions because these questions, when the answer, see, this is, it's making it look like there's something to hide. It's giving the energy of, we don't want you to see all that. We want you to focus on this. We don't worry about all that over there. We want you to worry about the part where Karmelo stabbed a young man and took the hell off running. That's the part. That's your only job. You only supposed to focus on that. I do recall part of the testimony when the guy who was handling the video footage, when he was asked about additional information about the video, more details and things. It may have been something centered around Austin, but I remember the question being centered around like, okay, well, was there footage that showed when something centered around Austin, maybe when he approached Karmelo or when he walked in? But I remember the person, I guess, I don't know if he would be the videographer, what his title was, but his response was, well, they didn't tell me to look at all of that when they told me to look at the video and share it with them. So this person is saying, listen, I got orders. I got specific orders from the state to zoom in on what happened right when the incident took place. So that's what I did. I'm not mad at that guy, because if you're getting subpoenaed and they're saying, hey, because he don't know the details of everything, y'all, right? So if they're coming at him saying, hey, you have this footage, we're interested in seeing the footage from when it happened versus after. He's like, okay. He's just listening. I'm not mad at him at all. He's just listening. If the directive was, hey, give us the video 10 minutes before, 20 minutes before, whatever, I have no doubt that man would have done that. So this guy that was on the stand was testifying to what he was told, what he was instructed to do by the state. He was following directions. But what I'm pointing out to you all is that these directions were suspect directions, because they only wanted information that would be able to have them to control the narrative, to be able to tell the story of what happened before this point, which was that 2-minute point. See, remember I said that people were saying they were told you can watch an 11-minute video or a 2-minute video. They all said Karmelo Anthony was chilling for 9 minutes by himself, looking down on his phone. How many times do you see kids do that? That's all the hell you gonna see. If you see any of my damn kids out, so that's what you finna see. Them, if they're at some place, a lot of kids these days, they're not super social like that, to where they're just engaging with everyone all like that. A lot of kids, it's not abnormal for them to just be in their devices. We're not gonna sit up here and play crazy. We're not going to do that and act like this isn't what kids do. They said in the video he was just sitting there minding his business in his phone. When they painted that picture, there was no lies told. I could see, I'm like, shit, this is what minds do. This is what kids do. So that makes complete sense that that's what he was doing. They said he was doing that for like 9 minutes. Where's that footage? Why can't we see the footage of the leader? Why can't we see the footage of the boys, the Metcalfs walking into the stadium? Why was it only important to see the footage of Karmelo entering into the stadium? I'm just asking y'all. If you can point out and circle Karmelo entering, why you can't circle what? Doesn't it make sense? Y'all, I be watching these court cases. If everybody's involved, how many times y'all watch something dealing with a court case and there's video footage, and when there's multiple parties involved, it's showing all the parties involved is circling and showing their activity on, okay, well, when they entered, when they left. You see them? We're not going to sit here and act like that this situation is an anomaly where people got to get into fights and somebody don't walk away. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. There's no reason in hell why It shouldn't have been shown in the video footage, the other boys entering into the stadium, entering into the tent. Also, let me add, so then remember during the trial, there was a number of people saying that the video footage that was presented to the people was grainy. It wasn't clear. The video wasn't clear. But the people who are telling their story about seeing the video a year ago said the video was very clear. It was so clear that they could see the raindrops coming down. Didn't we see that in the video that was released last night? Didn't we see in the video, you can see the rain and things coming down? That's how clear it was. Why wasn't that version shown during the trial? Because clearly it existed. Clearly it existed. Why we couldn't damn be privy to the raindrops during the trial? Why the juror couldn't be privy to damn raindrops? Your case was based on, okay, it was rain. The weather was this, and that. Why wouldn't you show the video that's showing that indeed was the situation with the weather? See, y'all, it's given that they had a whole lot to hide. So that's why I feel like a new trial, y'all, is going to feel very different if you're going off of the facts. Because this video that we saw and what the defense put up and what the state was alleging, y'all, they ain't even correlating. We got some other names. There's some other people that need to be brought to the front of the congregation. Hunter, we need to hear from you. Hunter, we need to hear from you. Those young men who was on camera walking into the stadium with Hunter and Austin, we need to hear from you too. Because remember, the people who saw the video, as I'm telling you, they said it was 4 people who walked up on that young man. We need to hear from all of the 5. And so those 3, I guess it's 3 still standing. We need to hear from you. What happened? What happened? Soon as Karmelo left that tent, as you've seen in that video, everybody just cleared the tent and left. You didn't see in the tent Hunter holding his brother, which was supposed to have been on written statements that happened, where Hunter holding his brother while he bled out and died. Like, all of that wasn't shown in the video. So I don't know if that took place. Okay. So if that took place, why didn't we see that in the video? Why didn't we see that in the video if that took place where Hunter was holding his brother, whatever? Like, to me, that's important information. Why wouldn't that have been, like, come on now, y'all what's going on? So the people have a lot of questions. I feel like Judge Roach, he's trying to bail out and leave now because he knows that everything's is starting to unfold. Remember, he doesn't like this internet. He doesn't like this internet. The internet is working against him. But for us as supporters and people who seek the truth, oh, the internet is working very well for us. The internet is working the way the internet is interneting for us. So he's like, yo, let me get out of here if I mess around and lose my pension, my retirement, all that itch. Because y'all know with sometimes, they have the ability to where when they let you go, they can strip you from your benefits, all this, and that. Y'all know sometimes people lose it all. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But most of the time, you're going to get those harsh penalties against people that look like me versus people that look like Judge Roach. But I feel like he's trying to, how they say somebody's out and moving like a thief in the night? He's trying to move like a thief in the night. I just hope that everything really quickly unfolds while he's still in his position, because as of right now, he's preparing to leave at the end of the year. I just hope that the truth of everything so much comes out to where it interferes with his plan of moving out of that courthouse by the end of the year. I just hope that it happens and he's being dealt with before he folds up his robe, before he hangs up his robe. That's what I really hope. Ariana says she just watch and wait. They all gonna be crashing out soon. Yeah, because it's the truth. That's why I'm like, so what are they saying about this video right now? That's why I went to go live, because it's just like the video is out. Are you still standing on, do you still have the same stance? It's okay to change your stance. But sometimes people are so stuck on just wanting to be right, out of rooted in hate, to where they don't even care about the truth. Hello? To where they don't even care about the truth. The truth doesn't matter. He still needs to be in jail. That's he. See, when someone still, regardless of the information that they have before them, still is standing on something that doesn't even make sense now according to the new information. See, that's hate. That is hate. That is the sign of someone who really who has a lot of hatred in them. When they basically are saying, I don't care. The outcome is what I want it to be, so I don't care. But guess what? People don't care until it hits their doorstep, until they're in a situation where they want people to care. Karma is real. It doesn't miss. It doesn't miss. So people who are operating in this place of I don't care regardless, they are going to be in a situation to where they are going to want and need people to care. And guess what? They're going to be given that same energy. The people, a lot of people that maybe even look like them are going to be on some I don't care. Because listen, white tea people, they'll turn on each other too now. Don't get it twisted. If it's something dealing on, see, they'll band together if it's white tea against other group. But when white tea against white tea, listen, they got to draw the line somewhere, right? So they going to pick a side. And it may not be on your side, white tea man, white tea woman, who's choosing to ignore factual information and use common sense and discernment. Your day will come. But just remember, karma is real, and you have to reflect back on the energy you had when somebody had a situation, and when you didn't give a damn about the evidence, when you didn't give a damn about the obvious. You got to remember that. So therefore, when you have your turn, you understand what is happening. Because a lot of times, y'all, people be playing crazy, acting like they don't understand what the hell going on, when they know very well what's going on, because they've participated in the same type of negative energy before, not long before, but they'll play crazy and act like they a victim when it's their turn to have to deal with some ish. And it's just like, well, just not that long ago when such and such was in a situation and you didn't like them, so you were just like, yeah, hang them. But now that you're in a situation, you're like, no, 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 listen to my story. Listen to my story. Let me explain. Now you want to be splaining. You weren't trying to hear the other person when they wanted to explain their side, but now you want people to hear you out when it's time to explain your side. Jake Lane trying to explain. So Judge Roach presided over his case. Surprise, surprise. Texas. Judge Roach lowered his bail this week from 1 million to 250,000, meaning that was on the 10%. If he get a bail bond for 25,000, he can get out. But Judge Roach also said you need to damn get the hell out of Texas too, and don't come back unless you got a court case. So he got that. I was telling someone, like, he got that Young Thug treatment, because when Young Thug beat his case here in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, part of the verdict was don't bring your back to Georgia unless you come in here for a court case. You ain't got no business coming to Georgia. And if you got shows or studio, you need to do some work here, you need to get approval. You need to run that by us first to see if we will approve and sign off on that. So therefore, they got a paper trail. They know when he is in the state of Georgia. Y'all, I got to warn them, I'm like, well, damn, where is he living at? Because he's from Georgia, from Atlanta, but he got banned from his own home state. I don't know where Jake Lang from. So is he from Texas? Did he get banned from his own home state as well? I don't know. But I just know that what I do know is the judge said you can't come back here. So when I did a quick Google search before I started this live, because I wanted to see if he was out yet, because I learned yesterday about the change, with his situation. Today it showed that he was still locked up. So I'm like, okay, well, dang, I thought he probably would have been out because y'all, there's a lot of haters out there. I thought they would have crowdfunded and got him out. Gave him that Chud the Builder type energy, with like trying to get him out expeditiously. But he was still sitting in there. So I don't know what's the deal with that. But Jake Lane is still, according to Google, he is still locked up. He's still locked up, just like Chud the Builder. Chud the Builder, he ain't going home no time soon. No time soon. So y'all Chud the Builder supporters, yeah, your boy not coming home anytime soon. He got his bail revoked for that lower charge from when he was doing the absolute most inside of these a restaurant or something. And people said, he doing too much. He was doing too much. They did a charge on him. He was out on bail at the time when he shot the man in front of the federal building, the courthouse. So the judge who was working the case from the prior incident that he already had, the pending case he already had, centered around disturbance, him just doing the most at a restaurant. He was like, yeah, we revoking your bail. So basically, he's in jail. He got to still deal with that situation, with the restaurant situation where he was doing the absolute most. And again, as I tell y'all, white tea people, you're not always having encounters with people of other races. That is white tea on white tea. That establishment, them people that was coming for him doing the absolute most in the establishment, they are people that look just like him. They are people that look just like him. So there comes a time where white tea people, you still got to choose a side when it's just involving white tea people. That's what I'm saying. Do you think Chud the Builder want people to have some type of remorse for him right now? Do you think, because the last I heard, he was in there crying, wanting to get out, and um, because he was in there losing everything, and the girlfriend on the outside struggling, and she needed transportation because they had hemmed up everything. They just lock and key and everything, like his vehicle, like he was wanting to have some things released to her so she can get to where. Listen, they was like, nope. I didn't heard he done got evicted since he been locked up. So he don't really have a residence on paper because hell, he ain't been out to pay no rent to nobody. So he going through it. But do you all think that he wants some empathy and want people to show sympathy to him? Do you think that his supporters want people to show sympathy to him? I would say yes. I would say yes, they do. But listen, just because you get caught up in a situation, it doesn't erase your history. People don't forget. People don't just forget about what you've done, your how you've treated people just because today on Saturday you in a situation. People take all of that into an account. They're like, well, how did we get here? How did Super News said, I heard they even deleted his dog. Oh, if they done deleted y'all know, don't white T man and they dog. Lord, I ain't heard that one, but that man is going through it. That man is going through it. Most people who wind up in jail in the system, especially if it's not a place you've ever been before, you ain't used to going, yeah, you're going to be going through it because that's just not a place that anyone wants to be. But as I say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So he did this to himself. And now he and his supporters want people to have empathy for him, just like Jake Lang. But people have not forgotten about your past discretions, what led up to that. See, it's like these with both of them is that it's an example of the crashing point to where you done so much stupid ish to where now they both have like crashed into a wall. So it was inevitable that something was going to happen because a lot of times when people are just out of control and they're not checked on their piss poor moral compass, their poor behavior, they keep going. That's why it's important, we even raise our children, why it's important for us to reel them back in when we see them demonstrating bad behavior, to not reward it. Because if you choose to turn the other way, it sends the message that the behavior is okay and acceptable. And guess what? It amplifies, it gets worse and worse and worse. And now you've created a monster. And a lot of these delusional parents are sitting there, well, I don't know why your honor, because you're now at this point, at some point, they going before a judge, Your Honor, I don't know. He's just been out of control. Okay, no. I'm sure that if we really take a look into the situation, we can clearly identify where things went wrong. Let's start with when he got in trouble when he was 8, and how you handled that situation and went up to the school and showed your ass when them people showed you all the evidence they had with how Jacob Dan was up there raising hell doing the absolute most, and you cussed the people out and threatened to sue them. Let's talk about that. This is that stuff that I'm talking about. You want to play crazy and be blind to the obvious until you can no longer play crazy and be blind anymore. Because you can only do that for so long. That's why you got to train, what they say, you got to train a child up in the way in which you want them to go. You can't start at 12 years old trying to discipline the child and teach them right from wrong and tell them to do this or that. It's too damn late. I repeat, it is too late. That is an adolescence. It's too late. You got to reel them in when they're knee high. I'm talking about you starting with 3. Your child hitting you, telling you no. These are not laughing things, the things to laugh about. This is when you tell them, no, don't do that. This is when you start doing some type of discipline things, removing things from them, however you discipline. But this is the correction. You got to implement the correction so they know, oh, this isn't the right behavior. You can't keep doing this. You got to teach them that. Because if you're not doing anything to show discipline by certain behaviors, they're in their mind, it's like, okay, this is okay. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't still be able to get all the things that my little heart desires, all the things that I asked mommy and daddy for, or grandma for. I was listening to Cardi B recently, and like her son, prime example, her son Wave, he's 4. And she's like, Wave, when he come home from school, he wants to just eat ice cream, junk food, whatever, but it's dinner time. One thing about Cardi B, no matter what, she has her career and then she has her life as a mother. And anybody familiar with her, it's like it's 2 different worlds. But I hear that's a thing, because that's why I say with these celebrities, these people out here on the internet, and they push one thing for you. But a lot of times, y'all, that's not even how they're living their life. They're just pushing that onto you and your children. But they children have no parts of that shit. None. You look at Cardi B and watch how she raised her kids, you would think them damn kids, they was Catholic, they was like nuns. She do such a damn good job with them damn kids. So Wave, he wants to have ice cream. She like on some, no, you can't. Guess what? Grandma and grandpa, like they do. Grandpa coming up in, giving Wave, letting him play with the phone, trying to appease him. And her thing is like, listen, he's a boy. He has to learn no means knowing that he can't get his way. He is going to grow up to become a man one day. You see what I'm saying? So Cardi, the celebrity with all this money, these are things that she is talking about a 4-year-old that she understands. Bump that up to the persona of Cardi B and the entertainer and the artist. I told y'all it's different worlds. It's different worlds. So that's also a message of how you have to be careful about who you following on the internet and the stupid they may be saying or doing, because they're trying to lead you to the pits of hell. But in real life, in their life, they not doing none of that shit. How many times y'all seen that? That happened all the time. I think it was the rapper Drake one time said only 10% of the internet is real. 10% of the internet is real. The internet is what you make of it. It can be very dangerous, but you got to know that a lot of you see on the internet is not real. And that's where your common sense and discernment got to come in to be able to detect that, to be able to use common sense and be like, you know what? 1 plus 1 ain't adding up to 2 here. Something just ain't right. Something ain't right. And that's how people have been looking at this case with Karmelo Anthony. People on some, I hear what you're saying, judge, state, defense, but this ain't adding up. Something's not right here. The people who are able to do that, Unfortunately, it's not enough people in the world who are able to do that. And it shows by the stupid ish that people say as they go move around and be internet keyboard thugs and say crazy things in people's comments. It lets you know already what their mentals is. You can be one way, what for pro Karmelo, pro Metcalf, pro Anthony, pro Metcalf all day long. But it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You can still have your stance, but still be respectful about it with how you go about communicating your stance. You can still have healthy relationships with people who have a different belief and share a different stance with you, right? But unfortunately, far too many people are unable to do that. And more than any, we're seeing that now. My stance, McDutch, you asked what's my stance? My stance is that, here's the thing. Let me go back, because my stance during the trial is different than my stance today since the trial, because so much information has come out. That's why it's important that we have the information we need early on when it's decision making time. Because my stance during the trial was Karmelo Anthony was guilty of manslaughter. My stance was he did not intentionally go there to unalive anyone. He got into a fight, he pulled out a knife, and when he did that, it resulted in the death of someone. My stance was he took a life. We got to deal with that. You take a life, you deserve some time. That's my stance. That was my stance then. Since then, when I started hearing people say, yes, that's murder though, but you got different levels of murder. That's why they'll have what do they have? A first degree, they have manslaughter, because manslaughter still is murder, right? So it's the circumstances surrounding the murder. You're right, it's still murder. But that's why I'm saying we can't ignore the circumstances surround murder. Getting in a car accident and killing someone that way through because you ran an intersection, that wouldn't be the same type of murder as intentionally going up to someone and stabbing them, right? That would that fall underneath manslaughter or second degree? It's just that as a result of your carelessness, it took someone's life. Regardless of what the circumstance was, the end result was it took someone's life. So that's going to fall underneath that the manslaughter, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. It's levels to it. It's not, okay, you kill someone. You got to look at, okay, what is the circumstance? Did someone just walk up to you and just take you out? Or was it an accident where there was a car accident and then someone's life was lost during a car accident? It wasn't the intent. It's just that maybe the person was speeding, and as a result of their negligence, they took out someone. They unalived someone. So it's different levels. So that was kind of what my stance. So I was like, okay, he took the life of someone. So let's explore the manslaughter. Since then, I started hearing people. So when the gag order got released, people who watched the video footage, they were like, "Oh, well, what I seen in the footage was him sitting minding his own business, and four big boys approach him, and then seconds later, they just start wailing on him and just fighting him." What I seen in the video was that he was getting just that work put on him to where he had to do whatever he needed to do to get out of that situation. So based off of that, I'm like, well, damn, he got put in a situation where he was outnumbered. It was not this one-on-one situation that was painted during the trial. So that changed things for me. It had me to think like, well, damn, he shouldn't be charged at all with taking the life of anybody, because based off of what these people have described, he was being jumped. And there's been plenty of cases where people have lost their lives just from a fight where there was no weapons, especially when there's been multiple people getting stomped out, like there's all kinds of things that can take place. But that's why I say that's a whole completely different type of trial. Because now if that's the case, we got to learn the details surrounding this incident that involved not two people, but five people. Y'all see what I'm saying? How it changes things? So that's why the way I look at it today It's not the way I was looking at it 2 weeks ago because new information has come out. That's why I say if there's going to be a new trial, y'all, it's going to be like a whole different case because the information that's coming out is something completely different than what was presented during the trial. The change is murder. So Google what are the different levels of murder. That'll fix that. Because if murder is just murder, we only going to have one murder charge, right? One murder, you're not going to have all these different levels. So clearly, there's levels to it. There's never, oh, you're just gone for murder. You got different levels of the murder. It's a reason for that because the circumstances make a difference. Not all murder cases was intentional. There were some cases, there were a lot of cases to where the end result was that, but that wasn't the original intent. That wasn't the original intent. So it's levels to it, but you know, people can choose to act slow by not wanting to accept that reality. But like I said, that's just a quick search. Type that in. How many levels of murder? How many different murder charges are there? And read the description of each one. That'll help you understand. See, we're honor students over here. We ask questions. We require for people to rise to our levels because we damn sure ain't going down to theirs. This ain't the platform for that. This is the advanced class. So this is where we do our due diligence. This is when we go into Claude, Open Claude, AI, like all these things to get the answers that we need to broaden our mind on a lot of these things that are taking place. And it's not that hard. See, what they say, the answers are out there if you want to know them. And there are a lot of people who choose to not to want to know the answers to things because it doesn't align with their ideology, their narrative, their belief. So it's like, no, I don't want to go look into that. I want to sit in this. I want to stay in this place and continue to have this stance because I don't like them anyway. Like, where the hell does that hold up at? Just because I don't like you, then you deserve this to happen. No, that's not how this works. But unfortunately, what we see in court a lot of times, that's the energy that it gives that is simply based off of, well, just because you come from a certain side of the tracks, a certain community, you're going to get this type of treatment. To be honest, you all, I feel like even in Collin County, if Karmelo Anthony had a quality team of attorneys that were really truly on his side, he could have beat the case with either a lower charge, a lesser charge, or he could have just gotten off and gotten acquitted. Those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. Please like the video, like, share, and subscribe. I'll share the story, the case of, let me see, I may still have the notes with me, where there was a white young man also in Texas who was tried last year, almost a year to the date, like on around the same time of the year, maybe give or take a month before after the Karmelo situation. I think he was tried maybe in May. His name was Kaysen Allen. So those of you who are questioning, had still pushback centered around murder and said it was still murder. Okay, so as you're still sitting in that, I'm going to share with you the case of Kaysen Allen. And you can do your own research because this is what I tell any of you. Don't go off anything I'm just saying. I always encourage you to go out there and do your own research. Fact check. See, like, let me see what she's talking about. Let me see if, like, it's online. There might be very minute details that I may have gotten wrong, but you'll see that for the most part, the case, the important shit, like, I got that shit right. So I'm going to tell you that. Kaysen Allen. Look up Kaysen Allen. The story of Kaysen Allen. In Texas on May 3rd, 2022, Kaysen Allen got into a fight with Jose Luis Ramirez. So his name was Jose. His government name was Jose, but he went by Joe. So he got into a fight with Joe in the boys' bathroom. You all come on in. Welcome. Good evening. Like the video. He got into a fight with Joe. There was a cell phone video that showed Ramirez throwing the first punch. So as I'm telling y'all the story, I want you all to think about the details pertaining to the Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case, because there are a lot of similarities. So listen up, buttercups. Ramirez threw the first punch before Allen pulled out a knife, stabbing him 4 times. So the person who's saying, but murder is murder, okay, keep in mind, Kason Allen, who was also 17 at the time, at school in the boys' bathroom, he got into an altercation with Ramirez. Ramirez pushed him first. Allen responded by pulling out a knife and stabbing him not once, not twice, not 3 times. He stabbed homie 4 times. 4 times. His defense, listen up. The defense argued that this was self-defense. Allen was defending himself. Yeah, he stabbed Ramirez 4 times, but Ramirez put his hands on him first, and he was defending himself. This is the defense, y'all. He said, Austin, Allen, he wanted to leave the bathroom, but Ramirez had 4 friends who was blocking the door for him to walk out. So Allen, again, listen up, compare and contrast, y'all. Listen up, class. Allen's in the bathroom having an altercation with one boy with 4 onlookers who was friends with the boy who died. So I would imagine once Allen started jabbing Ramirez, them friends moonwalked the hell out the way of the damn doorway to let him walk out of that bathroom, because they probably were afraid that he was about to put that work in on them too. Would you? Would you get the hell out the way at that time? Because Allen, at this point, was standing on business. He was standing on business. He was like, "Oh, you can get this work too." So they got the hell out the way, rightfully so. They used common sense in that moment and got the hell out the way, because they could have got that work too. If Allen did it for, listen, Karmelo stabbed Austin 1 time. Kason Allen, the white boy, stabbed Jose Ramirez 4 times. So let me continue on. Let's get into what the verdict was. So you all got the details. White Kason Allen stabbed the boy 4 times after the boy put his hands on him, punched him, whatever. The verdict on April 29th, 2025, so that's actually the same month of the Karmelo Anthony situation that took place, because that was in April. I think Karmelo Anthony's was like around April 3rd or something like that. So on April 29th, 2025, in the state of Georgia, the jury acquitted Allen. So, sir, the one who talked about, but murder is murder, that wasn't the sentiment with this situation with Kason Allen. The jury didn't come back on some, no, we gonna do manslaughter. They said, fuck that, homie needs to go home. He don't need no time. The jury said, nah, this young man need to go home. He need to be acquitted on murder. But if we got to give him something, we'll do a lesser charge, but we not doing murder. We'll do, how about criminally negligent homicide? So remember, someone talked about, oh, murder is murder. Have you ever heard of criminally negligent homicide? That was a new one for me too. Look into that one. Claude, Chat GPT, AI mode, all those are your friends. Use them. Use them responsibly. So the jury said, no, we ain't doing them. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. That young man was defending himself. So we'll do criminally negligent homicide, which typically carries a maximum sentence of 2 years. So we not finna act like, what we not finna do, class, is sitting here and play like the same rules apply to everyone. Y'all, we're still in Texas. I didn't say that, Kason Allen's case was in California or it was in New York. It was in Alabama. Y'all, we're still in the state of Texas. We're still in the state of Texas. Criminally negligent homicide carries a maximum of 2 years in the state of Texas for the Texas law. So these people were following Texas law. That was a verdict option. Criminally negligent homicide. Get into it, y'all. Kaysen Allen. Kaysen Allen. That's your homework. Do your homework. So I'm not done yet. I'm just still on what the hell the jury was saying. This ain't how it ended. I'm just telling you the jury. Because remember, Karmelo Anthony, the jury came back, was on some, I don't care what other types of charges, options we have. We going with murder. We don't care in the final hour you threw out manslaughter being an option. We going with murder. You see what I'm saying? This jury said, fuck that murder. We ain't going with no murder. We not doing that. We acquitting this young man. That's what Casey Allen jury said. And he jigged the boy 4 times. It took 4 times to get Ramirez off of you. And when I seen the pictures of both of the boys, they both were a similar frame. To me, it makes more sense for Karmelo Anthony situation to have resulted in him doing something with the knife more than one time, given the size difference between he and Austin Metcalf. But he did it one time, which lines up to him saying, listen, I just want to get you off of me. You see what I'm saying? The one time is a symbol of get off me. The 4th time is like, motherfucker, I done told you to leave me the hell alone. You see the difference? I bet you he was y'all know it was all kind of damn passion with that. He jigged his ass 4 times. He was on some, I'm tired of your shit. Every time he was talking to him, I'm sure them damn boys in the bathroom, the other ones quickly got the hell out the damn doorway. So let's get back to the trial. So remember, the jury was like, well, listen, we ain't doing nothing deeper than criminal negligent homicide, which can give him up to 2 years. We're not going beyond that, Judge. Judge was like, all right then. After 2 weeks after the verdict, the prosecutors filed a deadly weapon notice. So the prosecutors weren't happy with what the decision that the jury made. So here it is, you leave it to the jury to make the decision, but the decision wasn't harsh enough for you. So you're like, no, no, no. Y'all, we didn't see the state, we didn't see them having a rebuttal for the Karmelo Anthony verdict, but they had a rebuttal for this Kaysen Allen verdict. So 2 weeks after the verdict, the prosecutors filed a deadly weapon notice. A judge in Bell County, so this took place in Bell County. So you all can look it up. I think it was a couple of hours away. I had looked up to see where's Bell County, compared to like the distance from Collins. So look it up. So this is in Bell County, but it's still in the state of Texas. The judge in Bell County, his name was Wade Faulkner. Look him up, Wade Faulkner. He was the judge that presided over the case. He ruled independently that a deadly weapon was utilized during the offense, and therefore the legal enhancement elevated the offense to 3rd-degree felony. So someone in here said, well, murder is murder. Kaysen Allen wasn't convicted of murder. He was convicted of 3rd-degree felony. So y'all marinate on that. Y'all can look it up. The story of the case with Kaysen, Kaysen Allen, Allen. Kaysen Allen unalived someone in the boys' bathroom at his high school, stabbed him 4 times, following that particular young man who's no longer with us, putting his hands on him. He said, hey, I was scared, self-defense. Jury believed him and was like, we want to acquit him. That was their first decision. The state people, they weren't happy with that decision. A judge stepped in and overruled the jury's decision of not wanting to overrule their decision to want to, at best, go with criminal negligent homicide, which gives up to 2 years. Judge was like, nah, we're going to elevate this to the 3rd-degree felony. So with the 3rd-degree felony charge, that came with a sentence of 10 years with no parole. 10 years, no parole. So Kaysen Allen is now serving a 10-year sentence following the death, or some of you, or murder, of another student. 10 years. He was 17 at the time when this happened. And I think it said 22. This happened in 22. He was 17 when it happened. He was convicted for third-degree felony in 2025, just last year. So that was 3 years later. So he was about 20 years old when he was convicted. So he'll be out about 30. He'll be out. Kason Allen will be out by the age of about 30. And he may get out sooner than that. He might get out in 5, because from what I come to learn about the state of Texas is that once you do 50% of your time, but no, he may not, because the judge said no parole. So he's going to have to do his full 10, because with Karmelo Anthony, though his sentence being 35 years, after doing like half the time, like what they say, like 17 and a half years, about 17 and a half years, he can go up for parole. With the Kason Allen case, the judge said he can't go up for parole, so he got to do his full 10. But what's the better sentence, you all? What's the better sentence? 10 straight years. You at 20 years old, you're getting sentenced 10 years, and you got to do all the time, day for day. Or you're getting sentenced to 35 years, and you can go up for parole after doing half, which lands at around like 17. So which one is the better result? Oh, let's go back to the first one. Also, with your 10 years, it's not even a murder charge on you. You got a felony, yeah, if you complete application, I'll ask, if you got a felony, he got to check the box, yes. But he doesn't have a murder charge on him. So that was the verdict on April 29, 2025. Well, the jury came back April 2025. So on June 23rd, 2025, so 2 months later, that was when the judge stepped in and was just like, no, we're going to go with this. So he's in prison in Brazoria County. That's where Kason Allen is serving his time, in Brazoria County. And his defense pushed back on the verdict because they were like, this is unconstitutional. The judge was out of line with stepping in and overriding the decision that the jury made. What's the purpose of having a jury if you're going to step in and override it? So this case seems like it's still probably, pending, because he still has a team fighting it. So he may very well end up getting out. Right now, he's just completed 1 year. So he may get out, because the judge said, no, you need to do 10 straight years, no chance of parole, just do 10 straight years. But like I said, a lot of cases, you all, it doesn't fall on the evidence, whether a win, a W, or a L. A lot of times it's dependent on the quality of your legal team. How many times have you seen cases to where the legal team was so strong and the person got off, and you be like, oh, hell no. Or you seen cases that the legal team was piss poor and the person was sent up the river. That's why the quality of your legal team makes a difference. I think the prime example of that is the O.J. Simpson case. The O.J. Simpson. How many of you felt like O.J. Simpson was guilty? That was a big one. I was a kid when all of that kind of was being litigated. So maybe I might was in high school, but I didn't have like a strong opinion of it, because I was kind of, I was young, but I remember hearing about it and thinking like, okay, well, they said, he didn't do it, all, the evidence weren't there, but I wasn't looking at it from a place of like, a mature adult that can really view things, from the common sense, like what we're doing now. Like, I was young. I don't even know what year that was, but I just remembered it was a case that so many people had strong feelings about, even like years following the case. People still, like, that still can be like a heavy topic in a circle, water cooler talk, where people talk about whether or not they felt OJ was guilty or not. So most of my thoughts centered around it was probably based kind of like after as I grew older and started kind of hearing information versus like at the time, because I was so young. Um, my mind, my thought process, I just wasn't there to be able to kind of take it in like that, to really decide on like, really like, wow, do I really feel like he's guilty or innocent? It's the same thing with here, where he got off, and there's so many people who felt like he was guilty, but he had a badass legal team that got him off. Johnny Cochran saying, if it don't fit, you must have quit. That's what he said. Y'all think Johnny Cochran could have got this young man off? I think if he had Johnny Cochran in his corner, Karmelo wouldn't have done a day. He'd be home. So again, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Let me see. Meg Mo said OJ's jury, some of them said they were going to find him and guilty no matter what the evidence showed. That's BS. Again, that goes back to racism, where people don't care about the evidence. If they have in their heart that they don't like you and they don't want to see you free and they want to see you locked up and behind bars, they want to see you down and out, they'll do whatever they can to make sure that happens. That's the hate that takes place in this world. Regardless of what your bank account is, sometimes people just are so stuck on wanting to see you down and out, wanting to play mind games with themselves to convince themselves that, hello, want to play mind games with themselves to convince themselves that you're something that you're really not. But that's a personal issue. That's a personal issue, and I don't think that belongs inside of a courtroom. That's why it's important with having a jury of your peers, fair representation. And many legal specialists, legal experts, attorneys, things like that, they feel like the case was over when they did not put any black people on the jury. And the question came up, and you all in the chat, let me know, have you ever known for a jury to not consist of any white people? Or have you ever known for a jury to be made up of all minority people, black people, Hispanic, Asian? Two questions. Have you ever seen a jury that was made up of all minorities, no whites? Or have you ever seen a jury that was made up of just all black people? No, that doesn't happen. Y'all would then raise hell if you seen a jury and say the person who was being tried was white and there was nobody in the jury that was white, even if the person who was being tried case or had a situation with someone who wasn't even black. Like, y'all, if you're honest with yourself, you would have an issue with that. You would be like, oh, what is this? Let you walk up in there and you see that jury and you don't see nobody who looks like you. You gonna raise hell. Just stop it. We're not gonna play like you're not. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Especially if you're on trial for doing something to someone who looks like me, someone's black, and then you step up in there and you see everybody on that jury of color and you don't see nobody with your white skin. Oh no, you're gonna raise hell. You're gonna be on some, what the hell is this? We need to, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. First of all, I assure you, your attorney is not going to even let it go down like that. Even if y'all got to get a whole new pool of people to sort through to try to find some that qualify, you're going to do what you have to do to make sure you have representation of yourself on that jury. And I'm not mad at you for doing that, because that's the way it's supposed to be. The thing about it is that it did not take place in this case. And Karmelo's defense team did not make it a priority for it to take place in this case, which is why many people believe that his team was never for him, that his team was the ops all along, because the way that they've argued the case, it doesn't make sense. There's so many people talking about that Karmelo had public public defender representation and all of that. But though the family are saying, no, we paid, like the money that was raised last year, the 600,000, however much it was, they're like, no, like that money was paid. That went to the attorney. This wasn't no public, what Mike Howard was his name. They were like, no, like we paid him. We paid him for his services. This wasn't on no free stuff. This was not on no free stuff. So I know initially Karmelo Anthony had a different attorney prior to hiring Mike Howard. Now, I don't know if maybe that first initial attorney that he had, if maybe that one maybe was a public defender, but he did end up securing new counsel, which ended up being Mike Howard. That was the new counsel that his family secured for him. I'm not quite sure the name of who the first counsel was, but early on when the trial started during my research, that's when I learned that he had different counsel when he first was indicted, when he first was arrested. All during that time, there was a lawyer, but something happened where that lawyer had to step down. That lawyer walked away from the case. Not sure of the reasoning, but it wasn't the family that got rid of the lawyer. From what I came to learn, the lawyer stepped down. So you all can look into that as well. You can look into that as well. So the counsel, the team that you've seen represent Karmelo Anthony, the family paid for that. The family paid for that. And this narrative that's going around about the family using the money to buy a house and a car, that's not true either. Recently, I saw where a family friend shared an old post from 2023 with the mother standing in front of the big, beautiful home and the nice, fancy truck, praising her husband and Lord for the blessings that she had. This was 2 years prior to the incident between Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. This picture was from 2023. This family already had a home. This woman already had a nice vehicle. From my understanding, the father worked at a luxury car dealership. I think he was maybe like a manager there. He did well. As much as people may not want to believe it, there's a lot of black people who do pretty well. We work hard. Sometimes people, I do walk and talk to my neighborhood, and people don't believe I'm walking in my own neighborhood. You might not like the fun fact about me, but I'm walking in my neighborhood. Anytime I do a walk and talk, I'm always just in my neighborhood. This is my neighborhood. I work hard to live in the neighborhood that I live in just like any other person. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? But anyway, so the family was already living a good life before a GoFundMe account was ever even started. They were living a good life, paying for their own bills, their own vehicles, their own houses. Karmelo Anthony had a new vehicle. He was paying a car note on a truck. He had 2 jobs. He was just doing like what a lot of people do. You work hard for the things you have. You work hard for the things you have. Black people work hard for the things they have just like any other groups of people. But a lot of times people want to live in they want to they just want to believe a person's life is something because it just makes them feel better than. It makes them feel more superior. But there are no other groups that are more superior than the next group. No group of people is more superior than the next group. But unfortunately, you have groups of people who collectively feel like they are more superior than the next group. And they show that through in ways where they're able to exercise their power, such as in the workplace, in the courtroom, um, when it comes to taking care of business, getting loans, things like that. That's because a lot of times these people who are in these high positions in these rooms, in these environments, they're not people that look like me. So there are people who are in this group who feel like they're superior, who feels like, okay, well, I can do these things to make sure that it remains that way because I feel like we're superior. So we need to keep it that way and make sure that everyone knows that we are superior because it's not an option for there to be equal playing field for everybody. That's not an option. So we got to make sure that they know their place and that they never elevate beyond a certain point for the power structure. It's a sad reality, but that's just the way it is, you all. And just because you don't like how it sounds, it doesn't negate that it's the truth, it's the reality of the situation, where you have groups of people who are in positions to be able to oppress other groups of people. This is what's been taking place for many years. For many years, this is what's been taking place. It is what it is. So people that look like me, what do? We just work hard. We have, it's no might to it. We have to work harder than the next person to get up, but we do what we got to do. We do what we got to do. We go and further our education. We get a bunch of degrees that we really don't need, but just to be able to have a fighting chance, we go out there and get all this extra ish. And more often than not, we still are fighting for a position, even though when you look at our resume, it shows us to have more than the next person who don't look like us. This is the way it is. This is the way it is. We don't make up the rules, but we're very much aware of them. We're very much aware of them, and with the help of social media, they're being talked about on the internet around across the globe. Everyone's talking about it. Everybody know what it is. I always say, just because you don't say a thing is a thing, don't mean it's not a thing. Just because you're choosing to not talk about the reality of a situation, don't mean that it doesn't exist. You're just choosing to not talk about it. And a lot of times people choose to not talk about it is because they don't want to deal with the reality of the truth behind it. So it's just like, I don't even want to talk about it. Let me just not even talk about it because they know the truth of the matter. It's some bullish. It's some bullish, but it don't change things. But that's all right, because just because you all don't come out and acknowledge the truth of the matter is, we know the truth. And you all know that we know the truth. And that's too what makes you angry, because we're aware of the truth. And through social media, many of us are coming out here speaking on the truth. And a lot of people don't like that, including Judge Roach Jr. He doesn't like that. That's why he doesn't like the internet, because he doesn't like that we as people that look like me, we can still collectively communicate and have discussions with one another about what it is to stay on code and move together in order to achieve a set goal that's rooted in just basic respect. Basic respect. Y'all, we not out here asking for the world. We're just asking for fair treatment. We're asking for the same type of treatment you gave to the white boy Kason Allen, who unalived another student with a knife. We're just asking for you to give the same treatment to Karmelo Anthony, who unalived another student. It's just, we just want things to be fair for a change, and it never has been fair. And the way the system is operating in a way as though they don't have any intention for it to ever be fair. Okay, well, we're going to continue to speak about it and call it out and bring light to it. We're going to continue to get together and stay on code with one another and have discussions about how we can move together through one accord to accomplish things within our community like all other cultural groups do. But the funny thing about it is, like, when Black people start to have those conversations about moving together and just being in sync with one another and supporting one another, it's a problem. But all other groups, this is what they've always done. Our group, we've had history where we did it more than what we do today, like maybe during the Malcolm X, Martin Luther King era. But even then, there was still division, because Malcolm X and Martin Luther King kind of had different ways of ideologies on approaching racism. But kind of towards the end, before both of them they got both of them up out of here, they started to kind of move in closer to one another and close the gap, and that became a problem. So today, Black people are like, yo, we got to come together, because this shit right here, what we're seeing, is not getting better. And if we continue to be separate and try to fight this fight alone, we're not going to get anywhere. So we are coming together. We are on code, and we're like, yo, anyone who's showing us that they don't respect us, anyone that's showing us that they hate us, we're just going to choose to do what we can we're going to choose to move around and do things that don't require for us to have to integrate with them. For example, the Asian community. Rick Chow, he was the store clerk who unalived the 14-year-old following the accusation of him stealing a dollar valued bottle of water. He chased him down from the store because the young man ran when he took notice of the store clerk and his son chasing after him. He took off. He ran. I'm not mad that he ran because he's like, why the hell? He's a kid. Remember, he's only 14. He's not 24, 35. Like, keep in mind, you all, he was a kid, a 14-year-old. He see adults coming, running after him. Stranger danger. I will hope my damn kid try to get the hell away too if some adults are trying to approach them. So he ran. He got off. He got off. He was found. He got off. He's not guilty, acquitted, whatever it was. He got off. Following that, black people, got on the internet, social media, expressed their sentiments about that. They were upset, rightfully so. And you had some Asians come online and basically say, listen, F you, black people, we don't care. We don't need you anyway. So black people is like, oh, say it ain't so. Oh, okay, say less. What did it say? Say less. Say no more. Say no more. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Say no more. So what that translated was into black people, black American people, foundational black American people. I don't know what the Africans started doing because y'all, we not all the same. Just like, you know, the Asians also, they're not the same. You got different countries within the Asia, the continent, but they're from different places. Well, black people the same way. So you have the FBA, which is foundational black American. We're people who our ancestors were slaves, and our generations go back at least about 5 generations. So we don't identify as African. So we do not identify as African. Africans, up until recent time, didn't identify. They didn't connect. They said they weren't the same as us either. But now, since everyone's starting to kind of do this identification, with the immigration thing, and the current administration is trying to crack down on immigration and who's supposed to be here and who's supposed to be not supposed to be here. A lot of the Africans are now starting to merge themselves for the first time, mind you. Oh yeah, we're black, like we're all black. So, but they never was on that type of time before. So I'm just gonna let y'all know, YT people, the history of what's going on. Africans have always made it very clear that they were African, that they were not black American. They made that very clear to us. They actually look down on, a lot of them look down on foundational black Americans. They don't like us. So we're very different. So as I speak about black people, I'm speaking about FBA, foundational black Americans. This means our generations go back at least five, um, 5 generations, and we're also the original people of the land. So that on that. So black people, foundational black people are like, all right, we're just not going, we're okay, we're good. We're just not going to do business with you Asians since you want to act like that, because we really should have stopped a long time ago with the shenanigans that you've been doing, the way you've been disrespecting us when we're your client, we're your primary clientele in your establishments. In the Asian beauty supplies, I have never, in my 45 years, I have never seen a white person in an Asian beauty supply store. YT people in this comment, have you ever gone and shopped in an Asian beauty supply store? Or do you head on over to Ulta or Sally's? Because the black people that look like me, that's not where we're going to get our beauty supply items. We're not going into Sally's. We're not doing that. We're going into the Asian beauty supply. We're their clientele. Nail salons. We're going to the Asian nail salons. We're their primary clientele. So what I've been seeing The first place I heard about it happening, well, both places are in California. So in Northern California, in a town right outside of where I'm from, Antioch, California, there is already a business, a Chinese restaurant. No, what was it? Beauty supply. It was either a Chinese restaurant or beauty supply, but one of the Asian businesses is already closed down in Antioch. And then last night I learned in Los Angeles, there's a beauty supply store that's already closed down. It's already closed down. So you all, it's been about 2 weeks since Black people was like, oh, okay, I can show you better than I can tell you. So we're now starting to operate from a place of, we should have been moving like this a long time ago, showing what they say, you got to teach people how to treat you. And we haven't done that. Black people, we haven't done that. We just been dealing with stuff. It's just the conditioning of, okay, well, we're used to just being mistreated or not treated like everybody else. It is what it is. But we're now at a place to where we like, F that. We're not doing that no more. We're not doing that no more. So Black people like, F it. Okay, yeah, I got to find me. We got black nail techs. I've been needing to try black nail tech for a long time anyway. So I'm going to just do it now. That's what's happening. And as a result of Black people doing this, these Asian stores, these Asian businesses are struggling. They're offering now. So this week they were offering sales like 75% off of goods in beauty supply store. Black people, we frequently go into these beauty supply stores. They do not put on sales like this. That never happens. That never happens. 75%. So on Juneteenth, yesterday, multiple of the Asian beauty supply stores came together and was on some, yo, we all gonna offer the 75% off, and even some we even gonna give away some free things because they're hurting so bad due to lack of business. Because Karen and Becky, they don't keep these businesses going. And right now, this is what they're seeing. A lot of Asians are on social media begging for Black people to come back, apologizing, saying, listen, we didn't, those people, they didn't speak for us. Y'all know how it go. But Black people are like, yeah, but sometimes, yes, sometimes you gotta catch a stray for the ignorance of the people in your community. This is our green light. This was our reality, our wake up call for us finally starting to support one another. So I'm hearing that a lot of Black businesses are really doing well right now because they're getting business from other people in the Black community. Business that normally we gave to other communities, we're keeping it in our community. Basically, we're doing what the other groups of people. Asians been doing that for a long time. Asians, you go into like an Asian type community. I know where I live, like they'll have their own banks, their churches, like they'll just have their own everything. It's almost like everywhere you go, you can probably find a little China, little Tokyo. It's like they'll just have their own everything and they're just supporting one another. So we're on some, okay, well, we're just trying to do that again because we've done it before, Tulsa, Oklahoma. But when it happened, the YT people came in and they burnt it down. They burnt everything down. We had the hospitals, we had the stores, we had the schools, we had all of those things, the banks, we had those things, and it got burnt down. Get into the history of Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out the African American Museum in DC, check that out. Get into that. They burnt it down. So they know that we have the ability to do these things. But when someone burns your things down all the way to the ground, like a lot of times it's hard to rebuild. It's hard to rebuild because now you have to try to get those resources all over again to be able to begin to build all over again. You see, so we really never built it up again after that. But now we're in a stage in life where we're like, you know what? It's so much going on where people are showing us that they don't like us. They never have, and it's given that they never will. So we're like, all right, we finally get it. We finally get it. We hear you. We hear you. So we just gonna move around and we just gonna do our own thing. We just gonna don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. We got this. We got this from here. We just gonna move around and do our own thing. That is what we're doing. And people are getting pissed off by us doing this. We're not even hurting anybody. How do you get pissed off at a group of people who are saying, fine, we're just gonna leave you and ignore you? Like, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. One minute you say, okay, we're bothering you, this, and that, and then we move around and we don't have no parts and we ignore you, and then that becomes a problem too. And now we're trying to hold y'all businesses hostage and stuff. Like, what way do you want it? What it's giving is that you want to be able to do us any type of way and deal with it and accept it. And the minute that we say, oh, hell no, we're not doing that no more, it's a problem. It's like, what do you mean? I mean, this is the way we've been doing it. Why is it a problem now? Like, this is the type of energy that we get from other groups of people. It's like, what do you mean? Like what's changed? Who's been talking to you? I mean, this is what we've been doing. It's been working. It's been working for who? Our people as a collective have still been down. It's been working for who? No, it has not been working. It has not been working. We've been settling. How about that? It hasn't been working. We've been settling. It's a new day. We know our value right now. It's a new day. We're not doing it anymore. So people are pissed off. Y'all, they so pissed off to where even some of the people, what I'm seeing online in the Asian communities, they're filing false claims um, with saying like vandalism. So they're doing things to their businesses, like setting them afire, things like that, blaming it on people that look like me and filing insurance claims. So that's the new hustle out there. So insurance providers, please be mindful and do your due diligence, because you're going to be seeing quite a few claims where allegations of arson, vandalism, all the things. And I'm just telling you here, we did not do that. We did not do that. I saw a video even last night where it was an Asian guy. He didn't know he was being recorded. So he was on the phone doing a false police report, saying that the people, him and his wife, were having a verbal disagreement with a group of black people, and that they had a pew pew. This is what he said. And now he didn't know the people in the car who he was accusing of this, they were recording him. They were recording him as he was doing this. So the police show up deep, like multiple cars show up, because remember, this man called and said someone's out there with a pew pew. Me and my wife, we're in danger, we're in fear of our life. So they roll up deep. Well, when the police got there, the people, the black people who were there, who was a part of the situation, they went on to show the police officer, I guess, the video. Y'all, that white man, so the police officer that was talking to the Asian guy was a white man. That white man was like, that officer was like, okay, did you say that there was a gun, a ball? Well, yeah, y'all, that white man, that white police officer wanted to cuss that Asian man straight the hell out for lying. I wish he would have gotten arrested for making a false report, because the officer knew that he was lying only because the black people had the video footage showing him, the Asian guy, placing the call, making the 911 call, and making the allegation, the claim that they, the black people, had the pew pew. So the Asian guy couldn't lie. Y'all should have seen that man trying to he probably bit his tongue at least about 3 times as he was trying to get his story together. Eventually, the white officer just threw his hands up and just walked the hell off because he was pissed off. It was multiple police vehicles that showed up on the scene, because based off of the type of call that it was a serious call that warrant like backup. Only to get there to his monkey ass, he was lying. He was lying. Then he was trying to insert his wife's name in the job. The wife wasn't the one who called. He called. So as the officer was trying to put him on the spot to get the truth, like, well, did you call? Well, my wife, he wouldn't outright say, because he knew he was caught. But the only reason why he was caught, you all, is because of the video footage of the black people. Why we got to play these games to where only how we can have a fighting chance is because we got to have some type of video proof. Like, why is that? Why does no one else need to have all the extra stuff? And when they tell their version of the story, it can stand. But with us, we got to show all this other extra ish to support whatever we're saying. It's almost like guilty until proven innocent, as opposed to with other people is innocent until proven guilty. again, the same rules for other groups of people, they don't apply to us. They don't apply to us. So we're like, all right, then, this been the case for a minute. It is what it is. But let's have discussions about what we can do to try to help combat some of this stuff. What are some things that we can do better within our community that can strengthen our community to have us come together? Let's talk about Karmelo Anthony. Many of you know or have heard stories. Some of you may not. But people on the streets outside, they're tapped in with what's going on inside of the prison systems, with inside of the jailhouses. A lot of them because they was in there at one point and now they're outside. But they're still tapped in with the people who live in there. So when it comes to Karmelo Anthony, Black people are on code to where the message has been spread within that prison, pack, what they call it, pack, whatever that prison, that Karmelo Anthony is to be protected at all costs. So I'm telling y'all what it looks like for Black people to be on code because we do have the ability to come together. As quiet as it kept. See, a lot of people think, oh, Black people can't do this, this, and that. But we know how to come together and make it do what it needs to do when it needs to, which is why last year with the immigration thing and Black people wasn't outside like that, people were trying to pull us to be outside because they know that we know how to band together. We know how to come together when we need to. This is a need to situation. So what I've heard on multiple platforms is that the word is that the message in there is don't F with him. That's the message for inmates as well as guards. So what that means is that the Black inmates are on some Aryan Nation, Hispanics, whatever other groups. Y'all better not mess with him. Us Black people already know he is one of ours. He is to be protected. What they're saying is that something happens to him, and if that were to happen to him, it would likely be from another group, a non-Black group. It's going down. That's what they're saying. They saying it is going down. It is going down, and that's not what you want. It's not going to be good for anybody. And when I say going down, I say it from a place of like a race wars type thing. This is what they're saying. That's why they're saying he is being protected. He is being protected because everyone is aware of what the situation is with this story. So the people who are outside, they're sending messages because y'all know them people in prison, be in jail, they be having phones, TikToks, Instagrams, YouTube channels. Child, they will have more. Y'all done seen them with more YouTube followers than I got from prison. Yes, get into it. So these people in the inside, they're communicating with people on the outside. So they're getting the messaging. And the message is protect this young man at all costs. What I've heard reported from the family is that that is what's taking place. Karmelo Anthony is mostly in like a, what do you call it? Solitary confinement. So he's out 1 hour a day to take care of his little personal business, eat whatever he do in that 1 hour, and then he's back by himself. But when he is around or close in proximity with anybody, people are basically giving him positive words, telling him to keep his head up. Keep your head up, young man. They're giving him those type of positive words. So from what I'm hearing, from what's coming from the family, from people who are communicating with the family, they're saying that he's ready to fight. He his spirits are up, and yeah, he's just he put in his appeal early on for a new trial, but he's doing as well as he can be given the circumstances. So it definitely made me feel good knowing that Black people are on code. This is what on code looks like. This is what on code looks like. So a lot of people don't like the sound of that because they want him to be treated in another way. But again, I repeat, this is what on code looks like. when we protect ours. We as a community know that this young man was was done wrong. We know this. We know this. So we're doing what we can within our community to make this young man as comfortable as possible. And I repeat, even the guards have gotten this memo. Not all guards are black. You have white T guards. You got guards of different ethnic groups. So even black guards are on code with, we gonna watch and make sure it ain't no trickery taking place with this young man. Everybody is on code. Some of y'all may not like the sound of that, but shit, like, don't argue with me, argue with your mama. It is what it is. You get the real deal Holyfield over here. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all, this is the situation here. There's a lot of money that is being raised for this young man. It's already in the millions. A lot of celebrities, they're saying, have put money in the pot. A lot of them just haven't gone on record of saying what they've done. That's moving in silence. You don't have to tell everything. You don't have to tell everything. This is what we call moving in silence. We taking care of our business. You don't have to tell everything. It's being handled. Another thing, I was listening to someone this morning who's tapped in with what's going on the inside, and they have a family member who's in that same facility as Karmelo Anthony. And they said just in the past week, there has been 4 attorneys who have come to see him. 4 attorneys. This person who's in there, who's in a cell, who sees him, he says he is not being bothered. He's all right. 4 attorneys, y'all. He said in 1 week, 4 different attorneys came to see this young man. So I done told y'all, the legal team, it's been built. I heard there's already a strong attorney who's already taken over this case. His name just hasn't gotten revealed. I was hearing this from another content creator. Her name is Queen 88. She's been, I think she's local in Texas, I believe, but or she was outside at the trial every day. So that's how I came to learn who she was. So she last week gave some updates about things as it pertains to Karmelo Anthony and messaging and things from the family. And this is what she was saying. She said that there is a top tier attorney that's been secured for him, and he ain't no joke. She said, I can't say the name, but what I'm going to tell you is I researched him, and he is not nothing to be effed with. So I do feel like next time around, y'all, it's gonna be real different in the courtroom. Hey, what's up, Dr. J? It's gonna be real different in the courtroom. Y'all come on in and like the video. It's gonna be very different in the courtroom second time around. The energy that's gonna take place second time around, you all, should have taken place the first time around. But like, we often see we don't always get it right the first time. God damn it, we working hard to get it right the second time. And I hope that the way everything gets overturned, they'll just be like, either he's acquitted or it's on some time served type stuff. I've heard experts say it can be probably anywhere from 18 months to 24 months before, I guess, a decision, maybe what a new trial is made, or, something like that timeline. I'm hoping, my prayers is that it's sooner than later. I really want a decision to be made before Judge Roach retires at the end of the year, because he said he's retired. I feel like he's trying to get out like a thief in the night. I just feel like that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get out like a thief in the night. He's like, listen, I got to get out of here because it's getting hot in this kitchen. The evidence is coming up. This video is out. People are questioning my decision making. Let me try to grab it. Let me start packing up my things right now because I got to go. You know how when you about to move and you slowly start trying to pack up stuff because you got X amount of time before you got to be gone. So here and there, you packing up your stuff. I feel like that's that's what he's doing. That's why he don't leave until the end of the month, because he's slowly going in all the rooms, packing up all his things, trying to get the hell on. After he done got it started, now he's trying to get the hell on. This is what he's trying to do. And I just hope that it don't work out like that for him. But as I say, the Lord I serve, he knows all. He knows all and he sees all. And a lot of times, many of you have experienced it and you've seen it with people where people think they're getting away with stuff until it becomes evident that they're not. See, here's the thing. Sometimes people aren't dealt with when you want them to be dealt with, but it always happens when it's supposed to happen. It happens when it's supposed to happen. What they say, he don't always come when you want him to come, but what? He always on time. He always on time. And I have faith that the way things are supposed to happen, they're going to happen that way. And it's not on any of our timeline. It's on his timeline. It's on his timeline. But I truly believe that when it does happen, anyone who did some wrongful stuff, they will be dealt with. And I tell people, you don't have to get your hands dirty and go out and hurt anybody or do harm to anybody. I don't ever advocate anybody to do that. But there's a way that you can deal with people by not dealing. Like, just the biggest way, y'all, to deal with somebody who wants some other type of stuff is to not deal with them, to ignore them. To ignore them. People don't like to be ignored. To choose to not even be in the same room and the same space as them. Because that's what's happening with the Asians while they're damn spiraling out. That's what's happening, is because we're saying, we're just gonna move around. How you getting pissed off at me because I'm choosing to not be in your space? You acting like you don't want me around anyway. So why are you getting pissed off when I'm saying, okay, I hear you now, finally? Which way do you want it? It's given that you just want to be able to do what you want to do to me and my people, and we supposed to just deal with it, because it's like, well, everybody else do you like this, so we just treat you like anybody else. Why are you treating us different? That it's the entitlement. It's the entitlement, the narcissist, like, it's all of those things. So what we're doing, we're saying we're just going to ignore you. We're just going to go over here. We're going to go next door. We're going to go across the street. We're going to go across town. We're going to do that. We're going to take the extra steps, go the extra miles to go where we're appreciated, where we're celebrated. We're just going to do that. We really should have done that a long time ago, but we get it now. That's what's happening. So I always say, people, don't go out here getting your hands dirty, doing harm onto somebody. Don't do that. Don't ever do that, because karma does not miss. And I assure you, anyone who's done wrong onto you, or you've seen do wrong onto other people, they will reap what they sow, or harsher than you can ever deal with them. It always happens. How many of y'all ever seen somebody fall and anything you could have done wouldn't even landed the way it landed? You were probably on some shit like, oh my God, I mean, I couldn't stand his ass, but shit, wasn't expecting him or her to kind of be like that. Like, like you on some shit. I didn't wish all that on them, but it's life. Life beat them down, because that's karma. It's the energetic force. Karma is not good or bad. It's just energy. What you give off is what you receive. That's karma, you all. So that's that. Nobody's exempt from that. As long as we have breath in our lungs, we all can get some of this work when it comes to karma. So what type of karma do you have coming your way? Only you can speak to that. What type of karma? What are you giving off? What type of energy are you giving off? It's magnetic. Everything is energy, you all. Just say Wednesday, go back to the Caucasus Mountains, that part. Listen, do we all need to just go into our own respective corners and do our own thing? Okay, white tea people, y'all just go back to not having the food with the season? I don't know. Because from what I'm seeing online, the seasoning food is changing your lives. So we can do that. We can go into our own corners and just say, okay, we going to stay over here, y'all stay over there. But what I've come to see in this world is that Black people, we bring an energy. The energy that we bring into situations is just different. And so many groups of people want to have our energy in their environments, want to harvest our energy. As I say, you want all that comes with Black people, but you don't want the plight, you don't want the pain, you don't want the piss poor treatment, the disrespect. You don't want none of that to come with Black people. But what you do want, you want that energy, that essence that we bring, that soul. You want all of those things that we come with. The melanin, like, you just want all of the things. It's just like, okay, can I have all the things that won't get me hemmed up and locked up? Can I just get that part? You can have the rest. I back at home in the neighborhood. So that's why I like to walk in my neighborhood, because I can do my little walk, get my little steps in, and then be back at the house. So my thing is, energy is real. Energy is real. If you want to keep giving off negative energy and push us away to have us go somewhere, we'll do that. We'll do that. But remember, this is what you want. And life is real different when black people aren't injected into things. Child, what that game would have been looking like, that series would have been looking like if it wasn't nobody like me playing in that game. What would that game have been looking like if nobody looked like me was playing in that game? Would there had ever even been that game? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. It's a different type of energy when we're involved in things. We're inserted in all the things that matter, all the things that's popular. We take it to a whole nother level. Did y'all see just on the internet with the people FIFA, coming in, and with the soccer players coming through the airport? They looking at the attire of the people. I think they came from Congo or something. They looking at their suits. Have y'all seen that? The designer then it started going viral, so people started asking the designer about how they can get the items that those soccer players, like, they had these nice bags and the clothes, like, people, like, listen, I ain't seen no videos of nobody coming from damn Paris, from, it's that black energy. We bring an energy, we bring things in a way that nobody else does. But that's just what's make us unique. We're uniquely made. We're beautiful people. It's fine. It's fine. But there's a lot of things that comes along with being black, like the black experience. And people is like, nah, I don't want that part. I just want this. But they want to cherry pick. And that's just not how the world is made up. That's not how the world is made up. And a lot of people are in denial about how the world is made up. It's just like they want to be delusional about things. They don't want to accept the reality of it. But the reality of it is that a lot of people want the energy and the essence of the black people, but they don't want all the other things that come with us. And then they don't want us to talk about those things that they don't like or don't want. They're like, okay, we don't want to talk about that. We only want to talk about this. But we have to talk about it, because just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. In today's time, with the era of social media, we're talking, and we have a lot to say. We have a lot to say. We're speaking our truth, and that's the beauty of it. And we can talk about the reality of it, not centered on hate. It's just centered on truth. How about that? It's centered on truth. And it's music to my ears to hear that the truth, and to see that the truth is coming out, starting with last night with the video that dropped of Karmelo Anthony. Just Say When says, but they don't want the black experience. Even with Judge Roach, with cases that he's presided over, black cases has gotten harsher sentences than other cases. But that's just not with him. That's just in general, you see that take place. Black people are often over sentenced, where we're sentenced more harshly than other groups of people. Y'all, we not making this shit up. Go on the damn internet. You got many options. Go holla at Claude, Chat GPT. Like, you got a lot of options to choose to go out there and get the truth, if you want to know the truth, because the truth is out there. The truth is out there, and we're talking about it. And we don't care if you're upset that we're talking about the truth, because it has to be talked about. Because the more that we talk about it, the more we're saying, hey, it's here. We need to deal with it. We need to deal with it. We need to deal with it today, because we're not ignoring this anymore. Like, this is a place where we're at, where we're like, we're not ignoring this anymore. We've done it far too long. We're not doing it no more. We're not doing this. We're using our voices. We're standing up for ourselves, feeling defeated, afraid. And this whole situation with Carmelo Anthony, guess what? Our people as a collective aren't afraid. We're not moving in fear. Because what I've come to see, you all, with this case, is like, we're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You cannot have a weapon and still get the short end of the stick, like Trayvon Martin in the case with George Zimmerman. He didn't have a weapon. He was a minor fighting with a grown adult who approached him, who unalived him because he said he was fearful of his life. And guess what? Because he was fearful of his life, he got acquitted. He got acquitted. Trayvon Martin didn't live long enough. He didn't survive to be able to tell his life, to tell his truth, his story. So they only just had the one side to go off of. And that man, George Zimmerman, said, I was fearful of my life. The other young man didn't have a weapon. Many of you are viewing that it's capped for Carmelo Anthony to have been fearful of his life because Austin Metcalf didn't have a weapon. Y'all see what I'm saying? So it's like, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. One black young man, no weapon, loses life, murderer acquitted. One black man has a weapon, found guilty of the murder charge, and sentenced to 35 years in prison, while also saying, I was fearful of my life. I was trying to protect myself. Y'all see what I'm saying? So we like, you know what? We just gonna do us. We just gonna damn move around. We gonna take our damn Lowrys, our seasonings, and we just gonna move the hell around. Y'all stay on over there, going back to, yeah, we just gonna move around. Because clearly you don't appreciate what we got to offer. I don't know what sports life gonna look like. I don't know what your music gonna look like, and I don't know what your damn TikTok dance routines gonna look like. Well, we don't give a damn because right now we see it very clear. We see it very clear. You don't like us. You like what we can bring, but you don't like us. And even as someone, they say, "We'll leave then." But again, back to my energy as a black woman, you're on the platform in the space of the black woman. Again, that proves my point. Of all the places you can be, you're over here. That's that energetic pull that brings you over here versus going elsewhere with people that may look like you. This is that stuff that I'm talking about. It just proves it. Exhibit A. Exhibit A. Y'all ever checked out these damn views that come over here on this channel? Exhibit A. It ain't nothing bought and paid for over there. Like, these are people who actually damn clicking on the damn platform, who are subscribing on the channel. Why is that? There's something that brings people over here. There's something that brings people to the other platforms of people who host them that look like me. What is that about? What is that about? Do you even understand why you still continue to go into those spaces? Because what I don't hear on the internet is YT people complaining about black people coming into their spaces, harassing them, saying mean, hurtful things to them. That's something I never hear because we don't go into those spaces doing the absolute most. If we know that we're not welcomed over there, we don't go where we are not want. You see what I'm saying? You see how this works? You see how this works? We don't go over there. But many people come over here. That's what I'm talking about. It's that energy, it's that thing, it's that sauce that we have. And that's why people hate us. Because it's just like, oh my God, I hate that I love them so much. It's like literally, it's on that I hate that I love you. Who was that Rihanna song? Rihanna or Neo? I hate that I love you so much. Love that song. But that's what it's given. It's like, I hate that I love you. I can't let you go. I can't let you go. But I don't like you either. But I gotta keep you near because I need all of that you bring, that essence, that energy. I need it. I need it. It's like a drug, you all. It's like a drug to other groups of people. We're like a drug to them. And it's like it's sick because black people are like, how do you hate us so much and mistreat us so much, but at the same time operate in a place of you can't live without us. Like, you all really think about that. It's like, I hate you, but I can't live without you, because without you, I'm not going to have this, that, this, and this. I can't have this, that. Video Wake Surfer said, when we point out their infatuation with skin and race and hate, they project and call us racist or obsessed with skin color. Exactly, because they don't want us to point out the obvious. But we're not dumb. We're not slow. They don't want us to point out the obvious. It's almost like they're like, okay, yes, it's all the things, but you don't have to talk about it. Why do you have to talk about it? Why do you have to always bring up race? Because the way you move and in the way you treat us, it's because of our race, it's because of our skin tone. So just because your actions aligns with that, you're mad because we're using words to describe that. Your actions is aligning that you're making your decisions based off of these things. But you're mad at me and I'm the racist because I'm calling out the obvious. This that shit I be talking about, y'all. Don't let these people out here play in your face and try to play you crazy. Because that's what they've been doing for many years. They play in your face and try to play you crazy like you seeing shit, and shit ain't really what it is. They play, and we're at a place where we're now like, F that. We're not dealing with that no more. We're not allowing for people to play in our face anymore. We're not doing that. We've done that far too long. Where the gig is up. We're tired. And right now, the Asian community are getting our work in a way that really no other group has gotten it from us. But I think they're just a start. They're just a start, because now that we're pulling our dollar from the Asian community, knowing that we were the biggest supporters to that community, we're now shifting those dollars into the Black community. We're shifting those dollars into the Black community. So therefore, Black communities, I heard someone describe it as the wealth shift. It's a shift that Black people have been praying for a long time. The wealth transfer, the financial wealth transfer. Black people are finally getting money's wealth transferred into our community in a legal way. Nobody's taking nothing. Like, we're just saying, hey, we're going to choose to spend our Black dollar over here versus over there. What wrong? Where are we wrong? So many other place groups of people do it. Like, so what law have I broken by saying, hey, I'm not going to walk into this establishment. I'm going to go over here and walk into this establishment. Why I got to be wrong and be the racist or whatever? Hell, white people don't support Asian businesses. White people, y'all in this chat, let me know what y'all supporting of the Asian community. Let me know the last time y'all been inside of the damn Asian beauty supply and what you bought. It'll probably change your life if you went up inside of there, if you seen all the options you have in there. Let me know what you have bought from the Asian beauty supply. Let me know, because I have never seen a white woman in an Asian beauty supply, ever. You know where I'll see them? If I, on a rare occasion, step inside of a Sally's, I'll see them in there. Step inside of Ulta, I'll see them there. But I've never seen any inside of the Black beauty, inside of the Asian beauty supply. The Asians now, when you go inside, I started noticing this a couple of years ago. Their employees, their staff, their workers are Black. They have Black women workers behind the counters. I used to see in the Asian beauty supply just the Asians working the business. I can't remember the last time I went inside of an Asian beauty supply and it was an Asian person working like solely behind the counter. They have Black workers. They have young Black girls working behind the counter. They know who's spending money with them. They know who's spending money with them. And it's not the white tea people. It's not the Hispanic people. It's Black people. Black people, in particular, Black women. You'll have men that'll go in there too. But primarily Black women. Black women is a demographic that keep the doors open for the Asian beauty supplies and the nail salons. It's primarily Black women who keep the doors open. So you all listen up, because I've been hearing about these different businesses that have been closing down within the Asian community. And what I've heard most recently this week is that at the rate that this is all going, with Black people not doing business with the Asian businesses, the Asian community, many of their doors are going to be closed in 30 days. So let's just say before July's out, many Asian businesses will be closing their doors. There are a lot of people online who have been going around to Asian businesses, recording from the parking lot, showing businesses that are now closed. And there are some who have actually walked inside of the businesses to show that no one's in there, because I told you, white people don't do business with they're not in these beauty supplies. They're not in there. It's crickets. There people have walked in and they're just recording, and then the person was, I was like, oh, can I help you? The person get excited, they see a customer, like, oh no, I don't need help. I've watched them walk inside of nail salons as well as beauty supplies, and the Asian workers are just in there sitting, waiting for customers, and there's none. How long do you all think these businesses are going to be able to operate that way? This is just basic. You need money to run a business, right? You need to make money, so therefore you can buy your supplies, pay your staff. Like what they say, it costs money to make money. So it makes sense to me why these businesses may be closing down, because if people aren't coming in, they're not getting the business, the customers, like, where's the money being made? Makes sense to me. They got bills to pay. They got their household bills to pay. They got the bills associated with the business to pay. You still got rent for the building that you're in to pay, like all of the things. So, from an economic standpoint, it makes sense why they down bad and they're in a tough position. It makes sense why they're copping pleas on the internet saying, I'm sorry, Black people, please come back. We're offering 75% off sales. Oh, happy Juneteenth. We're even giving away free stuff. You need a new wig, you need some lashes, you need some hair, nails, all the things. And Black people like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I need to start wearing my own hair out anyway. Like, Black people like, nah, it's been time. I need to get away from all that stuff anyway. I need to save some money anyway. Or I've been meaning to go up the street. I heard that Lisa, opened up a new beauty supply, and I need to go ahead and check her out and see what she got popping off over there. Oh, I heard I heard, Kimberly, she a nail tech. She just graduated from, nail tech school, and she's doing nails and she does pretty good. Let me go over there and give Kimberly a chance and, see what she can do with these nails. Black people are now willing to give other Black people a chance in a way that we weren't willing to do before. Why weren't we willing to do it before? Because we were just comfortable. We were comfortable with just how we've been doing things. But now we've gotten uncomfortable. And sometimes that's what it takes for change to take place, is for you to get uncomfortable. Video said, hurry up and pie means hurry up and come back, right? Sometimes you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. And Black people have gotten uncomfortable. And right now, the uncomfortable phase is like, okay, we got to start doing things differently. We got to switch it up and try something new. Yes, it's a bit uncomfortable, because it's like, oh my God, okay, I've been going to this person for many years. I'm familiar with them. I'm used to them. But now I got to do something different. I got to try someone else. Okay, wow, I'm kind of nervous about trying them out, but I got to do what I got to do. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to hope for the best, but I got to do what I got to do. So this is the place that Black people are in, you all, where we're just moving out on faith. We're overcoming our fear, but we're saying that it's worth it, because the need for change is far greater than this uncomfortable feeling that we have. We're like, yeah, I feel uncomfortable and uneasy about having to move around, but because I know it's necessary, I know that it's necessary, that feeling supersedes the feeling of being uncomfortable, stepping out of our comfort zone. That's where we're at as a people. And like with anything, it's just uncomfortable in the beginning. It's something new. It's change. But eventually it's no longer something new, right? It's the new norm. We're going to create a new norm. So this summer we're creating a new norm. We're moving around. We're creating a new norm and we're moving around. Old folks says y'all spreading hate to Asians. What WTF you want to cut off their business? No, it comes down to we are saying we're going to teach you how to treat us. And this person who's saying y'all cutting off the Asian business, please talk about how you support Asian businesses. Uh, how often are you going inside of the Asian beauty supplies? How often are you going inside of the nail salons? How often are you going inside of these Chinese restaurants? Because people that look like me regularly goes inside of all three of these types of businesses. And so it's like a lot of the people who are voicing opinions about how we're moving, they don't even support these businesses. So you want me to do something that you don't even do. What's your reason why you ain't never supported these businesses? What's your reason? Because we've been supporting these businesses all along up until today. So how is it that you want to look at us sideways after we've been supporting these business for 20, 30, 40 years when you ain't never supported them and we're saying, okay, we're done, but you want to look at me sideways because I said, okay, I'm tired after 40 years, but you ain't never even got in the game to even participate with giving any support to the businesses. So miss me with that. So that's what I'm saying. People that look like me, we not falling for that anymore. We don't give a damn how the hell you feel because we know that we've shown up more for these businesses than any other cultural group, but though have been disrespected in a way more than any other cultural group. Asians want to align with the white tea people, but the white tea people aren't the ones who are supporting their businesses. The YT people may be granting them business loans, home loans, but the YT people aren't the ones who are supporting their businesses to keep the revenue coming in that allow for them to live the lifestyles that they live. You see what I'm saying? Video Wake Surfer says, how about you talk about how they place their businesses in black and brown neighborhoods to take our money, but won't allow black, brown businesses in their Asian communities or neighborhoods? Let's talk about it. Because when I drive through the Asian areas where I live, it's just everything is Asian, because it's in the language. I can't read it. I don't see anything black inside of an Asian community, but though they'll come and set up their businesses in our communities. But though, like I said, when you go to their communities, you're not seeing any signs of our businesses in their community. Everything is run and operated by them. So my thing is, okay, I'm not mad at you. We're starting to get on code and we want to do the same thing. So why is it a problem for us to do what you've been doing? Why is it a problem for us to do what you've been doing? It's giving, okay, do as I say, not as I do. You can't do what I do over here. And that's the problem with a lot of group of people when it comes to the black people. It's just like, you can't do what we do. But why? You just can't. Like literally, like you just can't. But I want to, no, you can't. You do this. This is what you're good. You do this. We got this over here. It's like they want to gatekeep. And black people peep game. We see what's taking place. They don't even like, Video Waker said, they don't even like us living in their areas or neighborhoods or Chinatown. All of that. What's up, Tim? All of the things. They don't like none of that. And we're like, okay, take your beauty supply back to China, because another population I've never seen inside of the Asian beauty supplies is Asians. I have never stood behind an Asian customer ever. Never bumped into an Asian inside of an Asian beauty supply who was in there as a customer. The only Asians that I see in the Asian beauty supplies are the owners, same as the nail salons. I've never gone into a nail salon ran and operated by an Asian with an Asian customer walking in or walking out. Never. So again, that's a great point. They move their businesses into our communities, but you will never see any of our businesses in their communities. This is what I'm talking about. But we peep game. We peep game. Like it is, the gig is up. We see what it is. And I love my nails. I've been going there for over 10 years. But the cause is bigger than my comfort. My love for my people and my community is greater than my love for the nail salon that I've been going to. It's time to stand on business. I gotta do what I gotta do, no matter how comfortable it may be in the beginning. And I just know it's just uncomfortable in the beginning. Shelly says, so you use their services, but you're going to blame them for being smart enough to do that. And here's the thing, Shelly, we had been using their services, but it's a new day, baby. We ain't using them no more. We're not using them anymore. Now we're like, you know what? You know what? Yeah, we're done. Because up until now, yes, we had been using their service, complaining, and that's insanity. So we've woken up and we're like, you know what, we're not doing that anymore, because no, it doesn't make sense to continue to patronize and use the service of someone who we feel is not treating us fairly. So you are right, better late than never, but we finally woke the hell up. Thank you for pointing that out, Shelly. But that's what you're seeing here. We woke up. So now we're not complaining. As I'm talking to you, I'm speaking to you from the past, because in the present, we're not effing with them anymore. We're not effing with them anymore. And it's only viewed as racism when black people get on code and say we're no longer going to be used. As long as we're able to be used, it's no longer racism when people mistreat us. But when we decide to stand on principle and purpose, then suddenly we're racist. You see how that is? See, as long as we have no standards, and we allow for people to kick us and mistreat us, then we're good. We're the good boy, the good Negro. But when we say F that, we're not doing that anymore. Suddenly, oh, you're a racist. You're this. Why you keep? Oh, okay. You like the you like the version of me that just endures the abuse. Oh, okay. That's what you like. You like that part. Oh, okay. Well, goddamn, the day is over and done with it. So you had a good run of seeing all of that. You had a good long run of seeing all of that, because we ain't doing that no more. And Shelly, there's plenty of business at the Asian Beauty Supply for you to go out there and support. I guarantee you, you will not be in a line. So if you are in a rush, I promise you, you will be able to go in and get superb treatment, because it ain't gonna be no goddamn body else for them to be talking to. It's just gonna be Shelly and the man one behind the counter. So if you got questions, you get all your questions answered. If you want them to give you samples, show you how to use them, they ain't got nothing but time. They ain't got nothing but time, because I promise you, it's just gonna be you and them. It's just gonna be you and them. So yeah, go ahead and then please come back. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Come back and report how it went, Shelly, when you went to Asian Beauty Supplies, because more than likely you ain't never been in one. So please come back and report how your experience was when you finally got a chance to experience the Asian Beauty Supply. It might be life changing for you, because they do got a lot of options in there. I promise you, they will have more than what Sally's have. They will have more options in there. So go in there and you come back and let us know how it went. Because a lot of you who are mad at us for saying, hey, we're not going in there anymore, you ain't never spent a dollar with them. You don't go get your damn nails and feet done on a regular. You don't go into the Asian Beauty Supplies, and you really ain't going in the Chinese restaurants like that. So stop it, Shelly. Stop it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't be playing games over here, Shelly. We are the honor students. We smarter than that over here. You can tell you ain't never been up in one and you don't know nothing about what them Asians got to offer in there. You just know that black people was going in there circulating a dollar, which has for the Asians to be able to have money to circulate into the white spaces. You see how it worked? See, they relied on the black people to bring in the dollar into the business, and then the Asians then circulate and use that dollar into their either their Asian communities or with the white people. You see, but the black people never benefited from that. Asians don't support black businesses. I've never gone into a black business and took note of an Asian being in there supporting it. Black restaurants. I've never gone into. We have a good amount of black restaurants here in Georgia. I've never gone into a black restaurant and took notice of an Asian in there. Never, ever, ever. So yeah, we don't give a damn about how y'all pissed off with how we moving today. It is what it is. As I say, hashtag it's a new damn day. It is a new day. Don't argue with me. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me. But listen, what they say, you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. And I don't come on this platform to please everybody, but I do come on this platform to speak my truth and encourage for you to speak and find your truth, whatever that may mean. Because I definitely believe in freedom of speech. And I don't feel like with the way that this government, this country, the way it operates from a space of freedom of speech. I don't believe that at all. I believe that it just depends on what you're talking about. It just depends on what you're talking about. So speech ain't free at all. It's not free at all. So it's definitely risky out here, for people as content creators, and we come out here and give our opinions and things like that, because what you should be able to freely do, we're not. Many of us not. Sometimes our content is blocked or shadow banned, all the things. Is that really freedom of speech? No. That's control. That's control. But the truth shall set you free. You know the truth, even if it's not been spoken on, you know the truth. What is your truth? What is the truth centered around this Karmelo Anthony versus the state of Texas versus Austin Metcalf situation? What is the truth? Just Say When says male folks stay out of black folks' black business. Again, you never hear YT people say black people coming over and doing the most in their spaces. But what you will hear very often is black people saying that YT people coming over into our space, running amok, doing the absolute most. So why is that? Again, if you do not care for us and like us or think we're racist, why do you continuously come into our spaces when you do not have the problem with us coming into yours? Because there ain't nothing that we trying to see over there. Again, back to the energy, the black energy, the energetic force, the energetic pull that has you to continuously come back and come over to our spaces. Just can't help yourself. Just can't help yourself. But again, listen, I know we are the ish. Like I get it. Like we are the ish. You can just say it. We're the ish. Like you can just say it. You just say, I mean, it's okay. Like we know. I mean, we know. We don't need you to tell us. Like, she got it. We know. Like, you don't think we know? Like, yeah, we know. Don't we move like we know? So we don't move in a way that we need validation from anybody, because shit, we already know we the ish. Like we wake up, like jumped up out my bed, turned my swag on. Like, listen, y'all, like legit, like we literally hop up, jump out our bed, like shit. New day, new dollar. Another day, another dollar. Like y'all, like we not new to this. We true to this. When you know, you know. Y'all go play some Soldier Boy. Go play some Soldier Boy. Okay, so that's the homework assignment, you all. So those of you who are new over here. So Soldier Boy, he's a rapper. Go on YouTube, find a song. Just type in Soldier Boy. I think it's song Swag. So Type in Soldier Boy swag. So you then hit that button, hit play, and just take in all of that. That will give you the idea, like the energy, like you like what's going on with those people. Homework assignment, Soldier Boy. Type in Soldier Boy. It's the first option because its biggest hit is like swag. SWAG. So that term swag, y'all, that was started from Soldier Boy. Y'all might hear swag being used in different ways. Swag originated from Soldier Boy. So if y'all want to know how we move in the energy, play that song. That's the type of time, the type of vibe that we be on every day, all day. So I get it why y'all be hating on it. I mean, I'm saying I get it. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I'm saying I understand. I mean, I understand. Shit. I mean, I understand. I'm just saying I understand. Y'all need to do better, but I mean, shit, I understand. I understand. Video work said for the male faces, teacher clown racist upon kids to keep their hands to themselves. Yes, you all. We just more so we have to keep our hands to ourselves. How about that? Because even with the white kid, Case and Allen, it was rooted in someone not keeping their hands to themselves. And Case and Allen just went in on the kid. The same with the Karmelo Anthony case. It's rooted in Austin Metcalf not keeping his hands to himself. Like, we have to keep our hands to ourselves. Use your words. Resorting to violence and putting your hands on people, that is a sign of weakness. In both cases, the two young men who are no longer with us exhibited signs of weakness because they chose violence over trying to use their words to have a conversation with these young men. So keep your hands to yourself. Teach your children to keep their hands to themselves. Everyone needs to keep their hands to themselves. Therefore, everyone can still have a heartbeat and make it home to their family and loved ones. Because that's the ultimate goal, right? To make it home to your family and loved ones. So we're going to start with the basics of keeping your hands to yourself. I remember like teaching the kids like that. Like, you teach them that when they're like 2 and 3. When they start trying to hit and swat at the siblings, or even you at another adult, like, you say, hey, stop. Keep your hands to yourself. You get in timeout. You're getting disciplined. You can't do this. You have to, these are basic things, you all. And that's why I say people who are growing up and who ain't keeping their hands to themselves and acting like they can go around and do whatever the hell they want to do, this goes to show that they weren't raised up with that basic principle of keeping your hands to yourself. So they had to learn the hard way. I don't wish that for you or anyone else. Keep your hands to yourself and teach your children to keep their hands to themselves. It's about respecting boundaries. We should respect one another boundaries. We should have the freedom of speech to speak our mind, but at the same time, we should not fuel hate. We should respect boundaries. And we should have the freedom to move around and go where we're celebrated. And if we feel like we're in an environment where we're not being appreciated, the smart thing to do is to move around and go elsewhere. That's what we do. So on that note, thank you for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. Welcome everyone who's joining. Any new subscribers. We've reached the new goal of 7,000, so we're on the road to 8,000 soon. Hopefully, we'll be at 10,000 subscribers. But listen, this is a safe space. This is a safe space. It's a safe space. I welcome you back, but it's just like, we just have conversation over here. That's all. That's just what we do. We have conversations over here, and we have adult talk. Um, we use heavy on the critical thinking, heavy on the critical thinking over here. And if you struggle in that area, then this may not be the place for you. But there's plenty of other places on the internet that you can go to. And there's plenty of other places you can go to where the people don't look like me. So please do not feel you have to be in the space of the Black people, because you don't. There are a lot of options. But what I will tell you is that that energy over there ain't gonna hit the same. So listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I done damn told you, go to Soldier Boy, homework of the day. Go play you some Soldier Boy. Because when you go over there on Tom's live, that shit, and you go on Becky's live, I promise you it ain't gonna be the same. It ain't gonna goddamn be the same. But listen, that is up to you. That's a part of the free choice, freedom of speech. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, awesome mods. Hopefully it wasn't too bad up in here. And take care. Got you like you got you. So